Support for Champ and the Tramp is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners, 20% off free shipping with code CHAMP at manscaped.com. Manscaped hooked me up with a bunch of tools and formulations for their Perfect Package 3.0 kit. Frank, using your old trimmers, probably, I'm assuming, with a wire, probably the same one you use for your face. You got any stories about nicking yourself up?
You know, early in my fighting career, I used to think I needed to shave my whole body.
More aerodynamic?
More aerodynamic, maybe a little less on the scale, and I definitely nicked the nuts a couple times to get in the grundle. Not very pleasant. This, on the other hand, much better.
I mean, think about it from a fighter's point of view. That's an open wound for a staph infection. That's not where you want to get a staph infection.
Exactly. So Manscaped's the way to go.
Good thinking, pal. Good thinking. Manscaped has created the best ball hair trimmer ever, the Lawnmower 3.0. Their third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. Thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, I now feel confident shaving my boys. In addition, this trimmer comes with an LED light, which is definitely handy. I've noticed that. For a more precise shave and is waterproof to make your shave clean and easy. Do you shave in the shower?
I usually do it before the shower.
Yeah, I put a towel down. I don't know. You know what it is? It's like when I'm trying to bend over in the shower and get my grundle, I got the water going in my face. I can't see. I feel like,
You're
I'm
pretty
not
tall too. It's shot right in your face.
I'm not getting everything. So I stand there and kind of like put the leg up, and I do it on a towel. And don't use the same trimmer you use on your face as your balls, obviously. I think that's the old school way of doing it. I think we all used to do that, and then you got the wire and you're getting it all tangled around your legs. The Lawnmower 3.0 comes inside their brand new Perfect Package 3.0, which comes with everything you need to keep trimmed, cut-free, and smelling nice down there. The Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0 also includes the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why aren't you putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body, especially Frankie? And yes, your balls do stink.
Speaking of sweaty and stinky balls, I am thankful for their Crop Reviver. This product, along with the Crop Preserver, keeps your balls from sweating, smelling, and sticking. No one likes sticky nuts.
No.
Manscaped threw in 2 free gifts into their Perfect Package, a pair of high-performance Manscaped boxer briefs that'll keep your junk feeling fresh all day, and a travel shed bag to store all your grooming goodies. Trim that junk of yours, get 20% off, and plus free shipping with the code CHAMP at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CHAMP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code CHAMP. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. We're never tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the Champ and the Tramp, let the bomb blast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Champ and the Tramp. Tonight we have 2 special guests, Katlyn Chookagian / Sermonera, and her husband Kyle Sermonera. Katlyn is number 2 ranked flyweight, which is 125 in the UFC. Been killing it. A teammate of mine for, over 10 years now, probably something like that. A long time. Kyle is a former Division I All-American. Our teams wrestled each other quite a bit in college. Clarion and Buffalo. I remember taking those trips up there in the snow. And, so thanks for coming down. Good to make the trip down from Long Island. I know it's not easy, so good to have you guys here.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Whereabouts in Long Island are you guys?
Amity Harbor.
Amity Harbor, okay. I know where that is.
Where that is?
I lived in, for a brief period of time, Franklin Square. So yeah,
yeah.
For about 3 or 4 months, but that commute killed me, man.
Yeah, it's not
absolutely.
fun.
That commute-
Get
you do it.
crazy,
You do it on the
yeah.
regular, right?
Yeah, I come down here Tuesdays and Saturdays.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I try to make it worth
Oh
it.
shit!
Yeah.
You were down here today already?
Well, today, I mean, unfortunately, but fortunately, I got injured this weekend.
Oh,
so
okay.
So I couldn't
man.
spar
Took
today.
off.
So I was like, well, if it's gonna happen, it happened on a good day. Because I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, all right, am I gonna stay down here and go back or go back and forth? So it kind of worked out for today.
Yeah.
What
It's-
what you care to share? Why you got hurt?
Yeah, I just pulled my groin on
okay.
Saturday, and
Oh,
like,
that
of
sucks.
course, it was like the last set. I sparred, and then I did strength and conditioning, and it was like the last set. I was just doing like a side lunge. I was like, ooh, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And then, Sunday, as the day went on, I was like, all right, this is really bad. And Sunday night, I couldn't even like roll around in bed. So
damn.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a couple days off. So
Probably just overdid it. Right?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I never like. I usually don't get injured very
Yeah,
much, so and I've never had like a groin injury, but I'm like, this sucks. Like even today before
I know.
before we left, I was like, oh, I'm gonna take the dog for a walk, and I was like, all right, cutting it short today. It was getting too sore.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
serious injury.
pulled my. I popped them one time training, and my groin popped. But I actually had to get groin surgery
Ugh.
a couple years back. But it was actually great. It
I
was probably
remember
the
that
best
was
surgery
that
I
was
got.
your old house where I
Yeah. I'm
I-
doing my therapy. I'm walking in the driveway. Like
He's
literally
literally-
walking like a fucking old man.
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you doing?"
was,
I'm
"What
like,
are you
I'm
doing?"
doing my therapy.
Yeah, it's not really a fun injury. Like I went to PT and they're like trying to like dig
Get
it
all up
out.
in
I'm
there.
like,
Yeah.
one, it's uncomfortable, dude.
Yeah,
It just like
a
it
little
hurts.
awkward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
doing like the dry needling and stuff. I was like, I don't like this at all.
yeah, no fun.
Yeah.
I don't do that dry needling. I haven't done it
You
yet.
scared?
I mean, no, I'm pretty good with stuff
It's
like that.
good though. I like it. They do like if your traps are tight, they put it in and like in
It
one
releases it,
Yeah,
right? Like it's different than acupuncture because it goes deeper.
yeah.
And they have a stim on it.
A stem on it. Yeah.
Oh, so you're
so
getting the
vibrates.
Yeah.
I feel like acupuncture is a little. I don't know.
I think
I've
voodoo
never-
is
Scammy?
Voodoo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not
This is
scammy.
real though.
That's real because you're
Yeah.
getting deep. You're kind of creating trauma. That makes sense to me. You know
Yeah.
the little. This is what someone explained acupuncture. They said you have 12 channels of pain in your body. Right, say your shoulder hurts, so all the pain is in that one channel. What acupuncture does is it takes the pain and makes it go to all 12 channels, so you don't feel it. I'm like, bro, but that ain't taking care of the problem,
Redistribution? Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just redistribute it.
I guess,
somewhere
yeah.
else?
That's what someone explained to me. But I don't know.
It's like they say like chiropractors don't work.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't know. I like getting like my
It
neck
feels
cracked.
good,
It feels
but
good in the
I don't
moment.
know.
I mean, I
hate
don't know.
getting my
if
neck
it
cracked. I go to a chiropractor, but he does ART. That's what I really go to him
Okay.
for. You know, active release therapy.
Yeah.
But he does crack me and everything, and I fucking hate when he racks my neck. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I'm always bugged out.
Yeah, I think the only thing I really like for recovery is just like a massage.
A massage.
That's
yeah.
like the only thing.
Yeah, I
like,
like massage,
you know,
yeah.
like even when I had like shoulder surgery, I think the only thing that helped is just like manual.
Yeah.
And then so then when I went to the UFCPI, I was like, you know, they do great.
They're the best.
Oh my god, I was like, wait. So then when I came back, I'm like, there's no good physical therapist in. I was going in New York City
Yeah.
to like these the best places, and it didn't even compare
Nothing.
to there. It sucks.
Because they work with combat athletes, you know. I mean, just that like you said, the manual where they just you're not just stretching you, they start massaging you,
Yeah.
doing all this stuff. That's the place is amazing.
Yeah.
What they did.
You can like just tell them. You don't even have to tell them what hurts, and they'll figure it out right away.
they're great. Heather's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
She also was at the OTC and she worked with all like the combat athletes at the OTC, so she's got so much knowledge, you know.
Yeah. Was she there when you were there or no?
No, I don't think so. Maybe I think just
She was like
after.
right after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were at the OTC for a while?
Yeah, almost 3 years.
Oh, wow.
06 to like almost 09.
Wow, that'd be experience. I never been there. I've been to Colorado Springs. When I fought in Denver, I went to Colorado Springs. You know Rico Blackman?
Yeah.
I trained at
He
his
was there
gym.
forever.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the man. So I stayed worked at his MMA gym, but I didn't go to the training center.
Yeah, he was there the whole time I was
Yeah.
there. But he was there like
He's a beast, but I think he still
2004.
fight, bro. He might even still fight.
I don't think he still fights,
No?
but he looks like he does.
He
He's
does,
like
yeah, he
shredded.
trains like
He's
an
like
animal.
50 years old now.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He came here, man. I mean, it's kind of funny now. He came here. I remember him warming up. I'm like, damn, this dude warms up
Yeah, he
forever.
always warms up.
That's kind
forever.
of like me right now. Man, I feel like I warm up forever.
His hands are so big.
Dude,
Crazy,
giant,
right?
man. Yeah. He plays the piano and shit, too.
Yeah. He's a cool guy.
He's like 5 or 6 boys.
hmm
He's a maniac, yeah.
And they're all like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
all
back
in
to
a row,
back.
yeah.
Bang, bang. I'm like, damn.
I feel like everyone you know from wrestling, they all have like 10 kids.
Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of kids. Wrestling's like a Midwest.
Yeah,
like,
it is. Yeah, for sure.
That mentality.
Some God-fearing
Yeah.
folks. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Yeah.
Like Mako has a
Bible
lot.
Belt people.
Exactly.
Mako got a bunch?
5.
Wow. I didn't know that. Yeah, 3 I'm done.
3's a
Three's
lot.
a lot.
3 is a lot. Honestly, I was good at 2, We had 2 boys.
So you gotta try
She
one.
wanted the girl. I mean, I was down with it, you
Yeah.
know. Now my, she's all having a daughter is amazing, you know.
Yeah, of
But yeah, I was like 2. I'm good. Fuck 2. And three.
Some talks about you guys trying. No.
I mean,
When she's done.
Yeah, when
we're
I'm
done
done.
fighting career. Yeah.
yeah, kind of, that's a part that kind of sucks, like, for a girl. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like, with competing and stuff, like, I feel great, I feel like I'm still getting better. And, but, I'm just turned 32, so it's like, all right, I've been, even though, like, in the UFC, like, I feel good right now and everything, but, like, I've also been fighting for years. I mean, I started competing in Golden Gloves when I was in high school. So
Oh,
that's
wow, I
like,
didn't know that.
it's like just like a lot of years of competing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I definitely want to have kids. I don't want to like put off that. To,
Right,
like,
sure, yeah.
fight
Get
and
your
then be like,
priorities
You know
straight,
what I
yeah.
mean? I've been fighting for a while, so.
Did Misha Tate come back after she had her baby and fight?
No. I
don't
she
think
never came
so.
back. Okay.
Some people do. But
Some, not many though.
No, I saw actually the last weekend I did like a signing with Juliana Pena, and she
came back. Yeah,
yeah,
right,
she had a kid and she came back, and I mean, people do it, but
Right.
I don't. I think physically I could do it, but I don't really want to be like having a kid and being like,
I gotta
hey,
go to the gym.
yeah,
or
here,
I gotta
Kyle,
cut
watch,
weight.
Kyle,
Yeah.
watch
Watch
the
the
baby.
baby,
Why
yeah,
I don't
right,
know. For
yeah.
me, like I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I just don't want to be like a mom like fighting.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Totally get it. What would you see yourself doing though? Training people?
Maybe, I don't know. We kind of we recently, like the past year, we got into a lot of like real estate investment, and I definitely think that's like, even now already, it's like, takes up a lot of time. So where I'm like, all right, I'm starting camp here. I gotta get as much done with that as I can, because it's definitely takes a lot of time.
Right.
It's
Now
not just
you-
like putting money in it. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
small part of it.
Yeah.
It's
Well, you guys
so
do.
much
You
more.
have real estate license and all that, or you use a real estate agent?
No. We have real estate agents.
yeah.
But it's all our own properties.
Right.
Like Airbnb. and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, there you
yeah.
go.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah.
What's his name? The other
Do you flip houses also?
Yeah.
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 other dude from Long Island, the fighter. He got into real estate for a bit
Oh,
too.
Al.
Al.
Yeah.
I love watching that guy
But I
fight.
think he has a license though.
He's
Does he?
a
Yeah,
real.
he's
He's a
different.
realtor. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, you're doing it for like investments and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frankie does a little bit
Well,
of that. Frankie owns half of Tom's River, so
Oh, I bought a condo back in the day, and then I kept it, and then I bought another house. I kept that, so I have 2 houses and then this house,
Yeah.
or a condo, then 2 houses. But Renee has a real estate license, so that helps too.
That's
you know?
nice. Yeah.
I always
Save 5%,
Yeah,
2.5%.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then you can tell her what to do. Not to worry about.
That's why I was like, oh, at first I started over the summer, like doing the real estate license. And then I was like, all right, well, we're already like on our 3rd property and I haven't needed to get it. So I haven't been like super motivated to get
Right.
it done. And it's different from state to state. So like I was doing it in New York, but then, one of the properties we bought was in Montclair, New Jersey. And then the other one is in Florida. So I'm like, all right,
what's
I'm
the
not
point?
really motivated. And then I started fight camp. So I was like, all right,
So you buy houses and put them on Airbnb?
Some of them,
Yeah.
and then others you try to like flip.
Buy and flip 'em, yeah.
So
Like
it's
the
like
one-
one at a time. Like the
Right.
flip would maybe like feed the rehab for their
Yeah.
So
Got you.
really a seller's market right now. Stuff is, at least here, a lot of people are leaving New York and coming here. So
Are they going to Long Island too? Leaving the city, going to
lot,
Long Island,
a
right?
lot.
Yeah.
Really?
Imagine, right?
yeah. And then,
Montclair too was a good one for
Yeah,
us.
dude, my buddy he sold the house. He literally put it on the market. Next day, got a overpriced
a lot of people are doing that. Yeah.
offer.
yeah.
But the thing is, like a lot of times on some of these houses, like in New Jersey or New York, like if there's people in them, they won't leave.
Oh yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
like buy them out because like in Florida or Texas, you could just drag them out.
Right.
Really?
But in New York or
That's how it
Texas, you
should
can't
be.
get them out.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
you gotta
crazy.
buy
So we
'em
bought
out.
this house in Montclair, and they
And
had people in it, and we were happy
Like
because they were
squatters' rights? Is that what you mean? Like
No, there's no evictions.
Okay.
So
for
if-
COVID. I think.
oh
They're like,
yeah,
well,
okay,
we're
got it.
staying.
Yeah.
And they'll say,
yeah.
unless you give sex, then COVID doesn't matter.
Right.
Of course.
Money
Yeah.
talks,
Money talks.
yeah.
And then they're like, oh, if you want to come and show the house, like we need this much notice, and it needs to be completely clean because of
COVID
COVID.
cleaning.
And they're like, but if you pay us this much, we'll be out in a week.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
But we kind of knew, that's like you buy the
That's the
house
game.
foreclosure,
Yeah.
so it's kind of
Like
just add that.
cash for keys is,
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
thing right now. In New York, like all around that surrounding area is crazy. People just stay.
Yeah.
And then people there, they probably want to leave anyway, but they're renting. It's like a family renting a house, but they know, oh, okay, these people want to get us out because of like, everything that's going on, everyone moving out of the city. That area is super hot right now. So, it's just a random family like renting a house, and they have like, they have us.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
know
for sure.
that.
Yeah,
It's like
yep.
so frustrating. You want to get mad, but you're like, if you were in the same position, you would do the same thing.
You want to like put some fucking smoke in the windows or something.
Yeah.
Anything.
I know.
And they say, well, it's a pandemic, COVID. You understand.
Yeah.
But
money.
give us
You got
Yeah,
money, yeah.
Pandemic doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Pandemic.
How convenient.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah, so we have
That's
that.
human nature.
And then we bought a place in the Hamptons. That one we're gonna Airbnb. So we've been like, kind of getting that ready and stuff, renovating that. So trying to get it ready.
That's like the perfect area for Airbnb, right?
Well,
Yeah.
the Hamptons is a lot of higher end secondary homes. Has that been affected hard by COVID, or
people are just moving from the city to
their secondary homes?
becoming their
Yeah.
first homes.
Yeah.
But then the Airbnb market from like May to October is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
so-
people are renting that live in the city. They want to go out, and even it used to be just the summer. Now like the whole year, people are renting it out. They're going there and renting it out for a month, and they're just working from home there.
Because no one has to go to work anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I mean, I don't know. I'm glad I don't work at home.
No.
I'd go nuts.
I couldn't.
That's got to come back though, right? People have to go back. You can't work from home forever.
I think a lot of businesses are discovering that they don't need the overhead, and
Yeah,
they're
they
saving tons of money. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's kind of hard to keep
social components of
the
it.
people that I know that are
Yeah.
whether they're in advertising or whatever they may be in. They don't work. I mean, maybe they used to report to the office. Like
Yeah.
one kid I know, lives up north, worked in the city, would report to the office, whatever, maybe do like an 8-hour day, like a normal day, whatever. But now he might work for an hour online.
The only reason
And he
Roger knows they don't work is because he's hanging out with them all day.
Yeah, exactly. I got a 9 to 5, bro. I can't get away with it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I would
But there's-
think that like the people, especially like young adults, they would want to go to work and
Yeah.
like me. I think in the beginning it seems cool, and then like when people are at home all day, even like with your family, you got to get out a little bit.
It's hard to keep people honest, is what I'm saying, though. Even with kids doing their homework, with like online homework,
yeah.
whatever, you see these videos. I see them all the time. Do you see them with kids like they'll be out hunting with their dad, and they'll have the camera set up in the tree stand and shit,
Yeah.
or out duck hunting or fishing or whatever. It's crazy,
Yeah.
And how about productivity at home? It can't be good.
Yeah,
Right?
I have no idea, but
I think most jobs are probably just bullshit. You don't have most of it's fluff that you're doing
exactly.
anyway,
Right.
and you get all the shit you need to get done at home. I
But I would
guess.
think people want to go in. There's like an
Yeah.
energy about it.
Yeah.
Like you
Right,
take the train in the city,
right.
then you work, then you go to lunch,
Right.
drinks after.
well,
and that's gone.
the social part of it is what I I would miss it if I didn't have that, going in every day, seeing people. If you're sitting home in your house, especially if it's just you don't have kids, you don't have.
or you got a wife you don't like.
Yeah.
Or a husband you don't like.
Yeah.
You had to say that real quick. That's a good save. Good save.
Shit.
But even just like people, I'm thinking of like two adults are trying to work, and then they have their kids are trying to work. Their kids are in school all
Yeah.
day. It's just
Well,
like
that's just
it's a
crazy. Like
mess.
my kids are actually back to in-person learning 4 days a week, but I mean, luckily my wife doesn't work anymore. And
Yeah.
what do these people? I don't understand what people do. Their kids are just home alone. Have to be.
Yeah.
I have
Right.
no
I
idea.
mean,
Yeah.
we have a first grader home alone. Is that no way? Like, how does it work? I
That
don't
has
get
even
it.
transitioned into the fighting world, though. I mean, they're the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys were doing online courses in their schools and
beginning,
stuff.
yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't think it would parlay into the fighting world, but it kind of has.
But I mean, New York is gyms even allowed to be open in New York yet?
Now, yeah. There's
But like they
pretty
were
much.
way behind.
Yeah, they were behind.
And
then
I think
people
California just opened up yesterday.
People kind of started doing it, kind of like
Anyway, right?
Yeah, a
'cause-
lot of people here did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to pay your bills. You got to put food on the table. What do you expect?
Like every
it's
gym
wild.
had like covered up their windows and would put like a lock, like a doorbell.
Yeah.
So you ring the doorbell and then they unlock the door. So you
Right.
get in.
Yeah.
So that way they're like, oh,
Find a way.
who's at the door?
That's ridiculous. The whole
It's yeah.
closing down bullshit.
We always say we're not going to talk about it, and then somehow. I mean, it's hard not to talk
How-
about it. It's your
it's
life.
so hard
not to.
It's
Right.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy just the fact like my kids at 10 and 12 know about politics. It's because of the coronavirus and because of all the shit they did to us. You know what I mean? Like we were at it. I mean, I didn't even in college. I didn't know anything.
I didn't know
and I'm a
anything
political
until,
science
like-
major.
Till like last year, but then
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. But then it's just odd that even a virus got politicized.
Yeah.
Well,
You're,
even-
if you're a
even-
Republican, you think of
even-
it this
Right,
way. Democrat,
right.
you think of it that way.
But even if you
How
go
could
back
that be?
before the virus, if you just go back to the campaign, Hillary and Trump, I mean, it was such a divisive,
But even then, I wasn't
time
like
where
I wasn't
people
like
were
that
I wasn't
into it.
at
No.
all. I didn't
really.
care.
I remember actually. Did you fight in that card? Yeah.
Yeah.
205. That's
was-
when that week is when Trump won. I remember sitting in the hotel. I'm like, holy shit, he won! Wow. And then that didn't have like Occupy Wall Street or something during that time.
Yeah, they were like,
oh,
people are in the streets crying, and I was like, really? I was like, I just walked in. I'm like, I'm like, why are they crying? I'm like, they're that mad. Like that, I paid like little attention to politics, and I was
that
like,
was in New York.
Yeah.
That was the
205. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember they were like, people were like crying in the streets. I'm like, really? I'm like, is it that big of a deal? And then like, that's how. I mean, that wasn't that long ago.
No.
And I didn't like know anything. And now it's like, even if you don't. Like, I feel like I know more just because it's in your face.
Right, yeah.
You know, like, you don't have to watch. Before, I was like, oh, I know. I never watched the news, and I still don't now.
No, but now it's all over our social media. That's what it is.
I was like, I don't watch the news.
Social media got way bigger.
So huge.
Oh, yeah. It definitely. And you wonder how much bigger is it going to get? It's crazy.
But before, people didn't talk about that stuff on social media.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? Right. It was just like kind of like gossip.
That's what I mean. It really started, I feel like, in 2016, and it's just been building since. Obviously, the pandemic just multiplied everything crazy, and how politicized it has become. But
well, I was hearing Rogan recently. I don't know who he had on, but they were talking about how like China has like meme mills that just literally makes meme pages that the U.S. sees just to create propaganda to get us all hyped up and shit.
So
I mean, we have people that their entire identity is some political Instagram.
Right.
With millions of followers. That's a business.
Yep.
Once you have a few million followers, that's your business.
And then they can't let it go.
Right.
You can't let it go. You're
becomes
making money.
an addiction. Yeah.
Like if they're
and not just an addiction, they're probably making money.
That's probably how they make money.
Oh yeah.
Like we always fought that DC Drano.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm so sick of that.
I'm like,
I honestly, I was following all those people.
Yeah.
And then after all this, I'm like, you know what? It was driving me fucking nuts. I unfollowed everybody.
I did the same thing.
I unfollowed everybody.
But he's kind of like a Colby Covington's like, well, what are you gonna do now? Like, what's your
right.
but like, and he just keeps. I was like, do you even like want Trump?
I still follow. He's not one of them. He's just a kid I know around town. He still thinks like.
Oh, they still
think like, oh, he showed a video of Biden. That's a
clone or
not a clone, but a
duplicate.
No, a hologram.
Oh,
it's a hologram.
Yeah, but why do you follow that guy?
No, he's a friend of mine. He's a friend.
Is his name Jesse?
No, not Jesse. Not Jesse. No.
I mean, they say like Biden's never flown on Air Force One. I mean, there's tons of. It depends on how deep you want to go down the rabbit hole.
He may not have flown Air Force One. He'd have a fucking heart attack, maybe.
Yeah.
I saw today someone's like, oh, it's the 40th day, and he's the first president to never speak within the first 40 days or something. And they all say it like, oh, because what's going on? He's sick. I'm like, who cares? That's what it's.
I'll tell you what, though. He's definitely, I mean, he's kind of losing his.
But they're all crazy.
But, yeah. I don't know.
We're like, that's enough.
You started down the rabbit hole, bud. I would just let it go. Otherwise, we're going to start losing viewers right away.
Yeah, it was funny today. So for our podcast, we got our first bad review.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys get like?
I don't look at the reviews. He does. He loves looking at reviews.
I didn't. And he goes, "We got our first bad review." I'm like, oh, I never.
They're good. Bad reviews are good.
Any review.
Yeah, any reviews.
I always
people are
it's
listening.
Hard to get someone to get a
if people are talking shit, they're still listening.
Yeah.
And for a while, it was the same guy on the YouTube. Every week, and he was always ripping on me like Roger talks over Frankie too much, but that motherfucker's listening every week.
Yeah.
He's got to be a fan. So
exactly.
Well, that's what this guy said. He was like, some decent fight talk, but last week we had Gregor on. He's like, last week the dude was talking about peeing in water bottles, and then he was talking about threatening someone for not wearing a mask. So he listened 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
And it's not like someone who knows us who said that dude and he referred to as like this chick.
Don't
let him get you, man.
No, I think it's good.
I was like,
we always
that's
say
good.
like, leave us a review.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say it's not being loved or hated. It's being polarizing. You have both people. That's what tunes in. Like remember like Howard Stern, Private Parts.
Yeah.
Why do they listen? To see what he has next. Why do you listen? See what he says next. That's.
They said the people who didn't like him listened for an hour. The people who liked him was a half hour.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Your podcast is called Burn the Ships?
Burning Boats. Yeah.
Burning Boats. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah. At first we were talking about doing it for a while, and then we were kind of like, I don't know, is it like kind of corny? Like I think
that's great. Honestly, you got a woman's perspective, a man's perspective. I think that's money, especially coming from you're a woman in the fight world too.
Yeah. At first I was just like, I don't know, is it like we both wanted to do it, but we didn't know if it was like, if it was just kind of, you know, as a couple, like kind of corny, and then
Right.
we're like, well, whatever. First we were thinking about doing it with Gregor, our friend, because we would kind of go live on Instagram all the time. But then, you know, we're like, all right, we can't really rely on him. We're doing it at our house. We're home, so we're like, who cares?
Right.
We'll just do it, and then we'll see what happens. And we're like, you know, didn't really have expectations for it. We're like, let's just do it, and it'll be fun. But
That's why we do it. Exactly. I mean, we call it our bro out session. Once a week, we get to hang out. I don't think we had any illusions of grandeur of being the next Joe Rogan or anything like that. But you know, if it goes somewhere and it takes off, that's amazing. If it doesn't, we're still gonna do it. You know,
Yeah.
I like sitting down here. We get to interview some great guests. We've had some really cool guests on. We don't limit it just to fighters, as you said before. So I just have fun. We live 5 minutes apart. Andrew's now a Toms River native, so we're all about 5 minutes apart. So
yeah,
and
we
it's
gotta
in my
get
basement.
Andrew.
Can't beat that. Yeah, you got to get an
Yeah,
Andrew.
definitely do.
yeah.
For sure. I'm like looking at like people at the gym when I train in Long Island. I'm like, I think this person's like good at computers and stuff. I was like, so you want to help us out?
That's the toughest part because Frankie and I are idiots.
That's why we
I
did
get
it.
frustrated. I'm like, I don't think we should do this anymore.
Every
I
week.
can't upload it.
I know, it's a pain in the ass. I mean,
syncing the sound with the video and the
Dude, the first day I was trying to, because I mean, we probably does a lot different than the first time we did it. But I'm trying to use the what was the app, the one that's on the Apple iMovie. iMovie. I was using iMovie. I'm trying to sync up the line where it starts with the.
That's already way more than what we do.
But then you have to compress everything before you can upload it. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's already. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
but for our first there's
an app called Handbrake, right, where you compress it all and.
Yeah, our first 8 episodes, we just used the voice memo on the iPhone, and it's funny. And then when we got microphones and stuff, it sounded better, but it wasn't that much better.
It's that much better.
Right.
We don't.
But maybe we don't know what to listen to. Maybe other people.
Well, I'll tell you, when we first started this, we didn't have any of these soundproofing things, and it sounded so bad. You heard everything. You heard
the
people.
echo.
Yeah, and I put those up, and it sounds pretty good now.
Yeah, we have to put my dog in a cage in the downstairs bathroom. 'Cause all of a sudden we were doing it. The first couple weeks he was fine, and then all of a sudden we put him in a different room, and I'm like, what's that noise?
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah.
oh, he's barking, and he'll bark the entire
Oh,
time.
he was like,
shit.
Yeah, he's like, what are you guys doing? Yeah.
Once in a while, you'll hear Frankie just scream upstairs, "Knock it off!"
Yes.
He does that
My
occasionally.
kids are fucking animals.
Usually, right
you know?
before we start, he'll give out one scream and just let the whole family know, "Quiet the fuck
yeah,
down."
Yeah. Because even if they're running around,
Right.
you hear
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's like when you want it to be quiet, then you hear everything.
Right. Yeah, it's you don't get many quiet times in this household.
Yeah.
Not with those three.
So we got the number 2 ranked fighter in the world here, and we really haven't talked about fighting that much. How did you get into it? Where'd you you said Golden Gloves in high school?
Yeah.
Were you a scrapper?
You started in karate though. First,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Ah,
I
okay,
did
that's
karate when I was 4 years old. I started. I lived in Pennsylvania at the time, and that's where I grew up. I did Tiger Schulman's.
Okay.
And I did that, my older brother did it, so I did. And I did other sports, growing up. But karate was kind of always my thing that I was the best at. But then in middle school and stuff, I started getting made fun of because I did karate. It wasn't cool, But what I was doing there was I was doing kickboxing classes and grappling classes, but
Right.
it was just it was a karate school, but it was changing into MMA, but they were still calling it karate. And in high school, I had a couple kickboxing fights. Even I think I was 15, and I fought at kickboxing, and I was fought in the city and stuff. They had a Lou Neglia had a promotion there. And so I was no, I'm not really doing karate. It's kind of cool. I don't know. I think it's cool. And then
I'll spin kick you in the face, man.
Yeah. It's funny because they used to be oh, Mr. Miyagi and all that. And then and then now I've all those people are the people that are fight fans watching, getting every pay-per-view and all the time. They're oh yeah, I love UFC.
I went to school with her.
Yeah, exactly. So and then I went to college in North Jersey, and the reason why I went there was because I was still training at Tiger Schulman's, and they had their
headquarters.
Yeah,
right?
their headquarters was there, and it's
Fairlawn?
yeah, close to that. It's not Fairlawn, Elmwood Park.
Elmwood, yes, right.
Yeah. So I was training there. And then, I think I just kind of reached my max there. There wasn't really other girls competing there. I didn't have any MMA fights at that point. I wanted to get into MMA. I think they just kind of weren't really there wasn't any other girls. So I kind of was all right, I left there. And then I was all right, I don't really know where to train. I started training at a jiu-jitsu school. And then through there is where I met Jamal Patterson. And they're like, oh, the place where I trained jiu-jitsu is like, oh, why don't you go there? He does like more MMA too. So I went there, and then from there I ended up he took me to Ricardo's.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, from there I got a bunch of fights and just kind of kept going from there.
And now you got a bunch of chicks that kind of came down with you. You know? At first you were the only girl.
Yeah,
a lot of times.
Until like 3 years ago,
Yeah,
really,
right.
most of it. And then, after the Ultimate Fighter, Sajara and Deanna Bennett came, and I was like, oh my God, I have like girl sparring partners. It was like totally different.
Right.
Totally different. And even now, like, that's what the part that kind of sucks is like I'm kind of like getting towards the end of it, and I feel like I have more training partners than ever.
Right,
so I'm like, damn, where were all you girls like 3-4 years ago? But now on Long Island.
So you would have men sparring partners. Do you feel like that pushed you harder, pushed you more, or no?
No.
Did they take it easy on you, or they
and then I would get like some
a hero. Come on.
I would get some like some amateur guy that wasn't very good, and then I'd like beat the shit out of him. But I'm like, yeah, but he doesn't count. Like, he's not good. You know?
I get this one dude. He drive his bike to Ricardo's every day. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? We didn't know. I guess he stayed in a hotel or something. He came there just to
there's no
train,
houses
right?
really around.
Yeah, I don't know
there.
how, but he would drive his bike to Ricardo's, and he would try to wheel kick everybody in the face, right?
Yeah.
Katlyn knocked his ass out.
No.
Yeah, snoozing.
And I was
Snoozing.
like, oh my God, because I never like knocked anyone out.
That's
Like a head kick.
amazing.
Yeah. And it was like, everyone was like, oh my God. And I was like,
But it was warranted.
Right.
yeah,
It was
he
warranted.
he was
You know what I mean?
fast.
Like,
If I didn't do it, he was trying to like
Right,
knock
take
me
your
out.
head off.
Yeah.
Did he come back?
I think so, for a little bit. Not
I don't think
long.
much longer,
Not
though.
much longer, yeah.
That's fucking
Yeah.
amazing.
And then I remember it was like one of my fights, I think it was at 205, and I like almost, I dropped the girl with the head kick, didn't finish the fight there, but then I remember saying to Mark in the locker room, I was like, damn, I was like, it kind of like threw me off. I was like, I never really did that before. I was like, I didn't know I could like knock someone out like that. And he goes, what do you mean? He's like, you knocked out the guy on the bike at the gym. He's like, and that was a guy. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He was kind of jacked too.
Yeah,
he's
definitely
jacked.
like bit stronger
Yeah,
than me.
yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, all right, I guess I do have knockout power.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, now I have like, even on Long Island, I ended up on, so I have now there a group of girls that come to Long Island and spar. So I have like 3 girls. One girl's from Jersey and she comes there just to spar me. So I'm like, oh, this
They're
is
all
good.
set
I was
now.
like, now I was like, I'm on like the Frankie status where I can have people come to me and spar. And so it's really good. But definitely going with girls is like totally different. It definitely made me it's more of like a competition. If I go with the guys, it's like, I know they're going easy on me, and if they're not, then it's like an excuse. So it's kind of like it's not for guys, every time you go it's competing, and as soon as the first time I go with a girl, I'm like, oh my God, it's totally different. I'm like, I'm not letting you, like, I don't want to let you take me down. For the guys, it's like, oh, well, if I try really hard, I'm going to get tired. It's not going to work anyway.
Yeah, right.
And when it's like an ego thing. When you go with a girl, I'm like, all right, like a guy can beat me, but a girl can't beat me, you know?
That's
so
awesome.
it definitely, I think from going with girls, it definitely changed and kind of leveled up.
More a real feel.
Yeah. Especially like more so with the, like the wrestling.
Yeah, because strength-wise, it matters. Like, it's hard, even for a guy to kind of go in there and take it's just not real.
And I know enough, so I know they're going easy. So it's like, if they go too hard, I'm like, oh, all right, relax. And then they let me do it. I'm like, well, you're just letting me do it. So it's like a lose-lose. But I think for wrestling, then I would usually go with like some of the high school kids that were maybe like a little bit.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't go, if I go.
You're married to a D1 wrestler. I mean, you don't have to go looking very far for the best training you could probably possibly
but
get.
then sometimes I would have like, if he had a high school kid, then I would go with him because I can
You
like.
got a lot of good training with high school kids.
Yeah, because I would drill. Me and him would drill, but I need the live goes. Right. I need the for that.
Honestly, like all the MMA guys that come to Steve's, elite, like I'd love for them to go to high school kids. Because I feel like it helps the learning curve, because they scramble. They're not gonna be like, you go to college guy, they're gonna freaking kill you. You go to high school kid, you might be a little bit stronger. So that the fact that you don't have the technicality and skills that they have, but your matureness and strength will keep you in it.
And like your jiu-jitsu
like,
wrestling,
yeah,
could, like carry you through the high school brackets.
Right, yeah. And then eventually you start picking up real wrestling.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
He still has to because he's like. He coaches wrestling all the time, so I feel bad. He's got like anytime there's like a big kid in high school or college around they're like, oh, can I go with you? And they all want to wrestle with him, and he's like,
kind of stop that.
Yeah. He's like, I can't do any more one-on-ones.
Yeah, that's a pain.
Yeah,
that's tough.
It's just exhausting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How old are you?
I'll be 38 this summer.
Oh, for me, you guys are about the same age, but
Yeah.
I got you by a number of years. So
Number.
shut up.
But it's tough to like wrestle, like, you know what I mean? Even in like the last couple of years, like you used to like wrestle like back
I used
to
to do,
back
like 5 a day.
5 a day, where he was
Oh,
wrestling.
5 privates a day?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
where
used
he
to
was
do that.
wrestling
Damn.
them.
Yeah, dude, that's.
But then
tough,
also
man.
some of the
worst,
kids
yeah.
got like,
And that's the
better.
worst, dude. It's not like if you wrestled 5 times, then you're wrestling like you're trying to wrestle for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get beat up, but you know you're not gonna hit with the little like the scratch in the face or the weird neck thing. You know what I mean? When
it's
you
different.
you know what it is when you're coaching a kid, you're not supposed to kill.
Wrestling's like hard on your body.
Oh,
right?
I think wrestling's the hardest at all. For
Just
sure.
on your body.
On your
that-
body. On your body. Yeah,
You
for
think
sure.
that-
Jiu-jitsu's like fun. Like,
Jiu-jitsu,
when I go
yeah.
jiu-jitsu, I have fun.
Jiu-jitsu, I feel
don't leave
is
wrestling practice like
everything is
fun.
lengthening. I mean, I don't want to say, but like, you know, everything's kind of lengthening in jiu-jitsu. Everything's closed in wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in wrestling, it's always like, I mean, maybe it's my wrong mindset. Wrestling's like it's like head to head. If you go hard, I'm going hard. Jiu-jitsu's like you go hard. Oh, I'm gonna try something a little different here. You know what I mean? It's a little more. And it's all technical. I don't want to say that, but
No, but
I
you
feel
can
like
like,
wrestling's hard nosed.
you can take it easy in jiu-jitsu. Like
Right.
you can go with the same person. If someone's like go 100%, you can go hard or you can kind of go slow. Like that's why people can do it
Yeah,
at any
for-
age
yeah,
or
right,
anything.
right.
Especially if you're good, you know how to like flow and do different positions, and like, you know, like if you have an injury, you could probably still roll jiu-jitsu, but
Yeah.
you can't really wrestle.
Yeah, there's no like taking a slow shot on somebody.
No.
Yeah.
But like when you leave like jiu-jitsu practice, I'm like in a good mood. I'm like, oh, that was fun. I felt good.
yeah.
It worked out today. But if you leave wrestling practice, you just,
Your neck hurts, your
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. It's not fun.
No.
That's why there's no like wrestling gyms
For
like,
adults.
adults.
Yeah, I know. That's everyone's. Oh, why don't adults wrestle? I'm like, bro, because
That's
try
not the
wrestling.
thing.
It's just
Yeah.
hard, you know.
It's-
I never thought of that. Yeah, it's true. There isn't.
But jiu-jitsu
You know?
you'll do forever. Like
Yeah.
I'll always do
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu
Yeah,
for no
for
reason.
sure.
Like I
Yeah.
don't train. I don't compete.
Yeah, it's just
but
fun.
It's just
yeah,
fun.
It is fun, and
That's like we went on Friday. We went to Sarah's for jiu-jitsu, and like some of the fighters that go with him, they're like, "Oh, you want to wrestle?" And he's like, "Not really. I want." He's like, "I want to just do jiu-jitsu. I don't
Yeah.
want to wrestle."
well, that's a lot of times. Even like you'll be in jiu-jitsu class, you go to wrestle, you start on your feet, and it's like, are we wrestling, bro?
I start on my back
I'll just
every
pull
time.
guard. I just like I'm going guard,
Yeah.
bro.
I start on my back
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, it's the way to go. Otherwise, but then I'll like just shoot on me. I'm like, oh, okay, motherfucker, he's taking me down. And then we'll be on our feet for fucking 10 minutes. Like, what are
Yeah.
we doing here?
But then another thing that happened to me, like as I started training jiu-jitsu more, is whenever I go to a good place, like the best guy always is like, oh, there's a good wrestler, and call you out every
Yeah,
time,
oh,
and then
yeah.
I'll be like, if no easy goes.
No, I
you
know.
only
Yeah.
go with the very best guy in the room.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And-
He can wrestle. He's good. He can wrestle.
Yeah, he wrestles. Like, I just wanted to like relax a little bit. That's happened to me for
something.
years at Henzo's.
Yeah, Henzo's
yeah.
like like Gordon would want to
Brady
go with
Gordon,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, for years. And
He's
then-
like, I just want to like do
I want to learn
jiu-jitsu."
something. I want to learn the arm bar, bro.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just a blue belt.
the good jiu-jitsu guys want to test themselves against like good wrestlers.
Wrestler, yeah. Oh yeah.
It's got to be one of the hardest combat sports on your body by far. But why? It's the oldest sport, correct, in the world, wrestling.
I mean, I guess that's what they say.
That's what they say, right? It goes back to
Yeah.
Greek wrestling, Rome, right?
I mean, yeah. I bet you wrestle. I mean, yeah.
Wrestling, boxing.
I think you watch kids that never wrestled before, they wrestle.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
True,
Little
true.
kids just wrestle. you
But
know?
then why did they? And I know it's back, but why did they take it out of the Olympics? Is it lack of interest, lack of?
Still, I don't know
just
why.
stupid.
It's just
I think just
yeah,
stupid.
just ridiculous. Yeah.
There's only 6 weight classes.
Right,
Wait,
It
yeah.
doesn't take up space.
They took wrestling
They
out.
did,
of
but
it?
they had to petition to get it back
yeah.
in. But after this year, I think they're gonna have to petition
Yeah.
again,
And they
That's
dropped a weight
crazy.
class.
and they dropped the weight class.
6
yeah.
weight classes. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
We
it's-
should
and
do
like,
10.
yeah, and then we have like 4 guys that could possibly win a weight class that are probably gonna have to end up in 2 weight classes. Like
Is it-
Dake and Burrows are gonna have to be in a weight class, and I think either
Jaden
or
Cox and
Jaden
Snyder.
Cox and Snyder, yeah,
Mhm.
or David Taylor and Dake. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you got a bunch of people vying for only those.
How crazy that a sport with that much history and that much technicality to it is literally almost out of the Olympics and was for a brief period of time. But ping pong and badminton
Yeah,
are in
there's
there.
so many
How
crazy
crazy
Dude,
is
no,
that?
they had like, yeah.
Yeah, worse than that.
like
Yeah.
ribbon.
Rhythmic dancing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like they do like the ribbon.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what you said. Yeah.
It's crazy though what like flow wrestling's done. Imagine if when
Oh,
you were
man.
wrestling,
Oh, dude,
how
that'd be so
different it is
cool.
now.
And now these kids can get paid
You
soon
get paid.
too.
I mean, they're famous.
Well,
There's,
no, but I mean, like they can get
even that, yeah.
in school. I think they get sponsors and stuff now.
Yeah, yeah.
I think starting next year.
Did you shoot something for BJJ Fanatics? I thought I saw
I've
something.
done a
on-
couple.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
something on your page. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
People are getting paid now to do videos. I mean, it's big now. So
They promote it so well. Like, I'm not even famous.
Right.
Both of mine sold pretty good. But
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, I mean, not like crazy, but
Yeah, but still.
at all, like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
they do it. That's a legit business.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
They're like
Gordon makes a
millions
killing
of
off
I
it,
feel like though the wrestling market is not as big as the jiu-jitsu market, right?
Well, no wrestler is buying. I've got no
Right.
wrestler who's ever bought my DVD.
Right,
It's
right.
Jiu-jitsu
Because
guys
I feel like
who want
wrestling,
it.
you're gonna go to your town coach
Of
and
course.
stuff. Yeah,
Well, wrestling is
yeah.
free. People who
Right,
train
right.
wrestling, it's free.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
used to it. Jiu-jitsu is
Cost
you
money.
pay
Yeah,
forever.
true.
Yeah.
Wrestling is always free, so it's not like ingrained.
Yeah,
for people,
yeah,
you
it's
know?
bad. That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah, and in jujitsu, you don't really, they're always like, oh, I want to learn takedowns. I want to learn takedowns, and they don't really do it. And so you buy like a DVD and you kind of make it a little bit towards jujitsu.
The first one, I didn't wear shoes on it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I purposely
yeah.
was like, oh, this is takedowns for jiu-jitsu. But
yeah,
it's
that's
just
great.
wrestling.
Right,
takedowns.
right, yeah. But I mean, it's all conclusive or what's the word? Conducive.
Yes.
Conducive.
I'm like, I don't know, whatever you say, it sounds good. I'm like,
He can just use the excuse that he gets hit in the head a lot when he
Yeah.
loses words. I got no excuse.
What's
but
your excuse? Yeah,
I got nothing, bro. I got nothing. But you went to school in Buffalo, man. How brutal the weather up there is. I grew up in Maine, but Buffalo is like next level past where I grew up. Weather-wise, anyway.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's definitely cold. But I grew up there too.
Oh, you
So,
did? Okay,
yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just kind of like ended up there. But
Yeah.
again, like I didn't follow wrestling. Like it's
Yeah.
probably the same as you. And then coming out of high school, like a few schools like Clarion and Edinburgh, those schools would like offer me like 70%. And
Right,
Buffalo was
right.
like a full ride. And my parents were like, well,
You're going.
you're going to
Yeah,
Buffalo,
yeah,
right? You know.
Yeah.
So then I went, but they had like no history of wrestling. Like to this day, I'm still the only All-American ever. in the
Really?
No
history of the
way.
program.
They were
Like,
always
Clarion
decent.
used to be
You know,
like,
Clarion,
legit,
yeah,
like
Kurt
program.
Angle and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but even like imagine like knowing now, like you have to be at a specific program to be good. You can't do it on your own.
Right.
Like
Especially-
if you know now, like
Yeah.
you have to be at a Big Ten school,
right.
maybe
Yeah,
Cornell.
for sure.
Like, it's impossible. Like,
Yeah.
think of how good you would have done at Iowa.
I know. I
What
kind of
made you pick Clarion?
Because you same
Full
thing.
ride? Full ride, yeah.
Full ride.
That's how it was back then. Because you didn't. I couldn't name. I never watched one college wrestling match. I was just like, oh, I was good in high school. I'll be good in college.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
full ride. I'm like, yeah. We were driving back. My dad's like, this place looks pretty good, man. I'm like, yeah, it does.
yeah, was it? Your dad was like, well, the other places are 70. He was like, how are you gonna get that money? He's like,
No,
do you
I
have
would've
that
had
money?
I would have had to pay. I remember it was $8,000, $8,000 a year, and my dad's like, "You got $8,000?" And I was like, "No." Then he's like, "Well, there's your answer."
There you go.
I didn't even
There
know
you
about
go.
like loans or anything.
It worked out for me because I would always take a summer class every year. So my last semester, I only had to take one class,
That's
cool.
nice.
and they paid me money because I didn't have to. They actually gave me money.
Oh wow.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
Really?
I got like a $8,000 check or something, or $10,000 check, something. I was like, I
Yeah.
cashed that shit quick as hell.
Yeah.
I'm like, they make a mistake here.
Yeah.
Because you had a full boat ride.
You
It
had a
was
full
already
boat
paid
since I
for.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Wow.
like, damn, I didn't know it worked. I just thought they just give you what you
Yeah,
get.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
all right.
That's cool.
So now, how'd you guys meet?
Instagram.
Get out.
IG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Creeping on the DMs.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
she,
slid in there with a
she
smiley
found-
face?
She found me.
Yeah? Oh, we got to hear the story. Who found who?
I,
She found
Who was
me.
sliding into whose DM?
We fight about this, but I think he requested me, and then I liked like 10 of his pictures, and then he DM'd me.
I think you liked a bunch of pictures. Then I
Yeah.
requested you.
All right, well,
That's what it
whatever.
was.
Yeah, whatever, something like that.
Then we went
Alright.
back and forth like on Instagram, Snapchat.
Now, how long ago would this have been?
5 years.
Yeah.
4
probably
or 5.
4 or
5
5.
years.
All
5
right.
years. 5 years.
Yeah.
All starts with that cyber love.
Yeah, it was crazy because the first 2 years we dated.
Yeah, it was long
I lived in
distance.
Jersey.
Yeah.
He lived Long Island. So
You guys just commuted back and forth all the time.
Yeah, a decent amount.
Yeah.
We'd like meet each other in the city a lot.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
because I was when I trained in the city, so sometimes days he would meet there, and then from where I lived a little bit more north. From there to him, it was really an hour, so it's not like it wasn't that long. It's just Long Island's rough to
Yeah.
get in and
It's
out
hard to
of.
get in.
Yeah,
It's-
That was brutal. It's all about timing. It's all
Yeah,
about
yeah.
timing traffic. 'Cause
Although
there's really
now
one way
it's
in and
not-
one
now
way
it's a
out.
little better, right?
So you
A
go.
the
little.
last
Like that
2
Belt
months.
Parkway, no matter what.
Oh,
No
it's-
time does not matter.
Yeah, you're right.
Fucking god. Not only is it god awful, it's full of every massive pothole you can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ruined more rims on that road.
I'll
than-
tell you though, I went to Brooklyn 2 Saturdays ago. I got in to Brooklyn in an hour and 15 minutes.
That's pretty
on
good.
Saturday
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, but
I'm
that
like, wow,
that
that's crazy.
That's the city. That's dead right now. Long Island, I feel like is
Yeah.
you know, there's
Doesn't
one
matter.
way in, one way out.
Yeah.
It's definitely a little slower than
Yeah.
it's been, obviously. But
And when I was going, they just they like doubled the cost of going over the bridge. They went from like $8 to like $16 or something.
Yeah.
I think it's more than that.
Is it?
I think it might be like 18.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
something
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, can you imagine?
It's
They only
crazy.
get you one way though, right? They don't get you both. I
Right.
think they only get you one way.
Yeah. But
They
it's
know
crazy.
you got to come off.
Yeah. So like Tuesdays when I go for sparring, now with COVID it's a little bit better, but like even before COVID, so like I would, if we have sparring at 9:30, I can't leave. It would take me if no traffic. It takes me like an hour and 40 minutes to get there, but you know, with morning traffic, it would take me, if I left to get there at that time, it would take me like 3.5 hours. So I would have to leave early and then get to the gym around 8. So, and then, cause I'm like, let me get there, leave early, and I'd rather sit in my car than drive 3.5 hours.
That's what I would do. I would
Traffic.
leave at like 3:30, 4 in the
Yeah.
morning, and smooth sailing. I could pretty much just fucking fly.
So like
I was working out of Lakewood at the time, and I could make it in maybe like an hour and 15,
Yeah.
you know, something like that. But then leaving to go back up at like 5 o'clock or even 6 o'clock or anything even in that ballpark. I mean, sometimes it'd be 3.5, 4 hours, and just sitting there, not moving on that belt park. I just have nightmares about that. It was horrible. I did
Yeah.
it for like 4 months, I think, and then we ended up moving down here.
Yeah, the like Tuesdays I get there early and I'm
Just go
like,
to
all right,
Target, right?
I go to Target
Yeah, there you
every
go.
Tuesday morning. I get there, I'm
Target.
like, the gym's not open yet. I'm like, all right, I'll go to Target, and I like do my laps around. I'm like, these people are probably like, what is this girl doing, just walking around? And then I'm like, I'll walk around like all the aisles, and then I'm like, all right, leave, and I leave, and I get
Yeah.
They probably think I'm crazy.
And it
Like
makes you,
she steals
sleep.
some. She stole some.
Yeah, yeah.
My girl does that, but with Home Goods. She'll go to Home
Yeah.
Goods
They're
every
not
day
open that early,
and just
though.
walk around.
Yeah.
Like just walk around. I'm like, what? You know, what
What's
do you
in
do?
Home Goods?
Just stuff for your house,
Decorations.
decorations, like
Love
artsy, craftsy things. But she'll just walk every night. I'm at Home Goods. I'm like, what are you getting?
Yeah.
Nothing. Just walking around. Like,
Yeah, they're not. It's probably better that they're not open that early.
Yeah, yeah,
Because then
sure,
I'd just
sure.
be in there like buying stuff all the time. But yeah, it's pretty rough. But I kind of think that like I knew that when I moved to Long Island, I was like, all right, well, I'm moving like further away from training, and it's funny because when I'm on Long Island, everyone's like, well, why don't you just train here? I'm like, I don't mean to be like rude, but it doesn't even compare. If it did, I would train there.
Right.
But you know what I mean?
well, you work there, right? You're a cop there, right? So you can't really leave, right?
Yeah, I
mean,
can't leave.
Yeah,
I work
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Well, and I wouldn't want to leave. I love Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it there, but just for training. But I kind of figure, I'm like, all right, if I go twice a week, and at this point when we bought a house there and moved there, I was like, all right, well, I mean, people commute to work. It's my job, whatever. I'm going to train, and like I'm not going to be doing it forever. So it's kind of not too bad.
Yeah, if you don't have to leave a lot, it's
Yeah, you're
Oh,
in.
yeah.
You're in. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But living there, I love it. I mean, we live on the water. We have a boat. We like.
That's awesome. By
Oh,
the water.
that's my dream. That's
Oh
where I
my
want to be
God.
on the water. You have a
Yeah.
boat? What do you got?
We have Polar. It's Center Console, 22.
Oh, that's what most
Yeah.
people have. Is center
Well, no, it's
consoles.
for
Very
us, it's
popular boat.
amazing,
Yeah. I think it's like the most popular boat for people to buy are center consoles.
There for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to learn how to drive it.
There was
I feel like the water's easy.
it's crazy
Water's
because
easy.
It's docking it though.
when I
Yeah,
lived,
that can be
that's
tough.
that's
That
the
can
tough
be
part. When I lived in Franklin Square, JFK was like, I think it was like 8 miles away, and we flew a lot back then. But it would take me as long to get from Franklin Square to JFK Airport as it takes me to go from Toms River to Newark Airport. It would always take, because of traffic, it would always
Yeah.
take like 45 minutes, you know, depending on the traffic. But it was always the same amount of time it takes me to go from Toms River to Newark. I mean, that's crazy, just to travel 8 miles.
Yeah.
That was my biggest
can't-
gripe with Long Island was
you-
traffic.
You can't think of things. No one says like miles.
Right.
Miles
Right.
doesn't matter.
Right.
Right,
It doesn't
right,
matter.
Nothing
yeah.
is more than
I know.
like 5 miles.
Nothing.
Yeah,
It's
right.
either like 5 minutes or an
Right,
hour.
right.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
You don't think of in terms of miles.
No.
And I guess if you live there, you just become acclimated to it and you're used to it. you know, so-
When I went to I was at school in PA. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm about 75 miles away." I'm like, "Damn, no one does miles where we
Yeah,
are." Yeah,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's all like, "Oh, fuck, half hour, an
Right.
hour."
Well, it's exit in Toms
Everything's
River.
a half hour.
I mean, excuse me, in Jersey, it's exits. What exit
Yeah,
you're off
yeah,
Parkway?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
exit 82. What are you? I'm, you know, whatever.
But like, yeah, if you go up like by Clarion or like where I grew up, like kind of near Buffalo, like something's, 20 miles away, you just shoot there and shoot back.
Yeah,
It's
right.
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wide open.
Yeah, from our house, like if you were to in the summer, if you want to drive to the beach, it's probably like 40 minutes, especially with beach traffic. But we take the boat and it's 8 minutes.
That's the advantage.
So we're like, all right, just pack everything on and then go there.
That's why I want to live on the water so bad. It's like literally you open up your sliding doors and that's a whole new world. I mean, it's just like a whole new playground for you to go and do, and you can go really cool places on a boat too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to get a boat, but I always say you got to live on the water.
You have to.
Yeah.
And then you got to drive to the marina.
Trailer.
Shit, it's a pain in the ass. You know?
Or if you don't have a marina, some people like trailer at places.
Right, yeah,
that would be a nightmare.
That's a pain.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't use it that much,
Right.
especially like if you have kids, you gotta like pack everything up.
Right.
It's gotta be a
Yeah.
whole day. Like sometimes
pain.
if like if we get home and it's like 6 o'clock, we'll just take the boat out, just bring a couple drinks with us, go out, float around, and then come back. We can go out for 30-40 minutes on the
it's no big
boat.
deal,
Yeah. But if we have some friends that are like want to get a boat and they don't live on the water, it's like
Right.
you're not going to use it as
Nah,
much. You just
no.
won't.
You'll just
It's-
get frustrated.
It's
Yeah.
like you have to have the whole day to.
And then you got to pay to put it up and
Right.
slip and all this.
take it down and everything.
And it's salt water, so like I had jet skis for a bunch of years, and just it's once you leave the water and you drive home, your work has just begun. Like you gotta
Yeah, I know.
flush all the
Yeah.
salt
Yeah,
out.
it's
You gotta clean the thing off. So yeah, it's a pain. That's
Yeah.
why I want to live on the water. So eventually.
Eventually.
Which right now, if I sold my house, I could get really good money for it. But then I go buy a house on the water. They all went up $200,000 in the
Yeah,
last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's like for us. We just when we moved there, we're like, oh, we're on the water. Eventually, we'll get a boat. And then it was like 2 months. We're like, all right, we're the only person on this street without a boat. And we're like, all right, let's get it. And we neither of us like knew how to drive a boat. And he's like, I'll figure it out, whatever.
That's
I was like,
awesome.
are you sure? I feel like we should know how to drive one before we get it. And then now I'm like I don't know how to drive it, and I need to learn in case of like an emergency. But also I don't want the responsibility.
It's like a car.
I don't want that because
It's really not
it's
that
easier
bad.
than
Once you
that.
figure it out,
yeah,
it's
but like
not bad.
when we're at the beach all day and like I don't want to have to be responsible like who's driving back. I'm like so I can have as many drinks as I want.
Right.
And,
I don't know how to drive.
And I'm just like, hey, let's go home. Okay, I'm good.
You got to do that stupid boater safety course too.
I feel like I guess.
Right, red return. You never did it?
I did it when I was like 11, 12.
I did it.
or
I split it
something,
up.
but
Yeah, I think it's like a 8-hour class, but you can do 2 4-hours. I just did 2 4 hours.
I think,
and
yeah,
got it,
me and old man did it when we got jet skis way back in the day.
but- yeah.
We fucked something up like a couple times this summer. Like they're like low, like that's why you need a center. Like
Yeah.
we'll drive up and
Oh, we
like,
don't know.
get stuck. Like
Yeah.
you have to get out.
If you're
push it
not
out.
sure, just hug the buoy markers. Just stay close to them.
Yeah, but we've gotten
Yeah.
stuck. A few
We
times.
actually it was like last year was the first like
One
one
time you had panicked. That's a funny story.
yeah, I was like definitely for a second
Like,
I
she
got
was trembling.
well, you were scared too, though. First off, so we went out. We put the boat in early because this was last year when COVID started. I think it was like it was right before Easter, and we went out. We're like, we're
Why
in,
not? Yeah.
but we're like, you're bundled up. We're cool. We're like, oh, let's go out for a little bit, like real quick. So we go out near our house in the bay, and then we float around. And when we float, we turn the boat off. Right? Did we turn it off?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
And then so we were out there, and we only had my phone. My phone died. Okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden he's like, all right, sun's going down. Let's go back. Boat doesn't turn on. We're like, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know, but it's not turning on. And we're like,
You
what?
just got it, like everything brand new. Like,
Yeah.
so there's no reason for it not to turn on. So, like, it's not turning on. It's not turning on.
And it's like this is like in April. It's like when it gets cold at night.
Oh, it's cold
It's
as shit,
freezing.
especially on the water.
So there's no boats. We're the only boat out there.
Because it was like the first day we put it in. We only put it in early because they said like with COVID they were gonna shut down. Like I don't know, they're gonna shut down the marinas where we could put ours in. So we quick put it in, and we're like, oh shit. And I'm like, what do we do? The sun's going down. We're running out of time. My phone, we don't have a phone because otherwise you have CTO, so they can just come and pick you up.
Right.
No phone. And like you could see along the water, there's like a park. So people were like hanging out there watching the sunset. So we're like,
So we're like looking, like, what do we have? What do we have? We're like looking through the boat.
Find a flare.
I
Smoke
got
signals?
flares. I'm like,
Oh, did you-
I don't want to
You
really
popped
shoot
one?
a flare. Pop. Shot a flare.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm
then
whistling. I'm
Nothing
like,
came. We had a whistle. We were blowing the whistle. She's like waving an oar. We're like, fuck. Now it's like dark.
Total beginner boaters.
yeah.
We shot off. Ended up shooting 4 different flares.
Wow,
So
dude, someone like, yo, you paid attention? What the fuck?
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like,
flare?
they see us, but I don't think they know. Like,
think
we
you're
could
shooting off
see
fireworks
them.
and
We
shit.
could see them, but they were far enough away that, like, I don't know if they could really tell what we were doing. And then the
Right.
flare, I'm like, do they know? I'm like, there's people there. We got to just do everything we have now because once it gets dark, no
one's gonna be there.
And
Yeah, yeah.
it got to the point I was like, all right, we'll do everything we have now, try to get their attention. And the sun's literally going down. We're like running like minutes, and I'm like, all right.
Is the current pushing you in or out?
No, that's the
We're-
thing. That's the thing. That's when I realized we didn't move not one bit.
Oh,
not one bit.
so you're stuck in the mud.
So then I was like, I was like, let me just check the motor. I can't do anything, but I was like, let me pull it. Maybe I could fix it. You know?
In my
But
head,
I
I'm
pulled
like,
it up a
fix
little
what?
bit, and it had like mud on the bottom. I was like, oh fuck, the
That's why
motor
it
doesn't
wouldn't turn over.
And then I pulled it up a little bit, then turned over and just drove home.
Yeah.
So by the time we're driving home, there's helicopters,
fire
Coast
trucks.
Guard, fire
You're like, nothing to
trucks,
see here.
ambulance.
Nothing to see.
do they
Wasn't
try-
us. Wasn't
I
us.
got to, I was like, yo, drive up there to the park around the corner from us where they all were at, like 10 different cop cars, the ambulance. And then I was like, go there and tell them we're okay.
And then so I was like, oh, I drove so slow. It was like the end of our street. I'm like, I got to go tell them because they're going to be out there. And then like as I drove up, I drove so slow. I like wanted to give them time to go away. As I drove up, they started turning around. But I looked out in the water. There was like boats in the water. And there's all these people.
Yeah, like the red Coast Guard boat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit.
But at first, like, so once we realized, we were like, oh. So we had to drive by. Like all the people were like standing there like, wait. You were just shooting flares and whistling, and now you're just, and we had to drive by all of them, and we're like, I'm like, just don't look.
But 4 flares, like that is
Dude,
serious.
hell yeah.
Right?
But for like, so it ended up being funny.
He's killing her on the boat.
You're all pissed off because nobody's coming, and then at the very end, like everybody
Everyone was
came.
there, and it was so embarrassing. But for a moment, like it ended up being totally fine. But for a moment, I was like,
She accepted it. She's like, we're just gonna
is our
freeze to
fate.
death.
I was like, I knew we wouldn't freeze to death, but I was like, I'm probably gonna pass out.
We'll be on the
I
news.
was like, I'm gonna wake up like in the hospital.
Oh god.
I was like,
it was that cold, or you were just being
Well,
over dramatic.
was.
No, I had like winter gloves on and like a hat and like a scarf covering my face. Like it was, I mean, on the water.
Like
Take
this
that
time
oar.
of year.
Take that oar. Start paddling.
Well, I don't
If the
even
motor
think,
was in the mud, you pretty much could have walked back home.
but
Well, maybe in that spot.
in
but
that
then-
spot,
yeah,
yeah, because it was too windy. I was like, it's like. I even said, I was like, it's not, I can see the land, but it's too far to like swim.
But and it was like,
And it was
Probably
freezing.
freezing.
Yeah, it's
You wouldn't
not-
have made that.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
way.
In the summer, you could have and just kind of like floated in or something. But for a second, I was like, oh, we're gonna be on here all night, and
we're
I'm
gonna
like,
be on the news tomorrow.
I'm like, we're gonna be on the news. We're gonna be like, found a couple in the water, like, and it's, there's no boats out because no one's out in the water that early. So I was like, we gotta wait till the morning and hopefully like a jogger sees us. I was like, that's it, we're done. And then it got on, and I was like, so then like for the next day, he's like, you want to go on the boat? I was like,
Hell no.
I was like, I think I need a day. I was like, it really like.
PTSD.
Imagine that, though.
Yeah.
Imagine that. You couldn't
Yeah.
go, fuck, dude.
Because it was like nothing. It turned out to be nothing, but at the time, you think the very, very
Of
worst.
course.
But you might want to look into that boater safety course though. They probably would have asked for that card if they'd have come out and
But the
found you.
funny thing is, like that. So that was our second summer. We had the boat for a whole summer before that, and it happens all the time. Like you hit the
Oh, yeah.
bottom, you get
To
your
everybody.
push,
Happens to
push. But
everybody.
I think because like. I don't know. It was the first time we were out. We just like I don't know why we didn't think of it, and then it's like you panic and you're running out of
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But,
Isn't it crazy how your brain works when you're panicking?
oh my god!
You're like,
Oh, we
you
were-
instantly
it gets
went to
narrow-minded,
we're
yeah.
gonna freeze to death and
yeah,
like
I was like, yeah. I'm like, what do we? I don't know what we're gonna do.
One other time we had an issue
What?
when we ran out of gas.
oh shit.
We were one time we had like a big day planned and
Yeah, but
actually,
that wasn't like an issue. It
No,
just
but
sucked.
It was so embarrassing.
Yeah, but it
'Cause we
wasn't
had,
like,
loaded
I
up
wasn't
everything.
scared.
And Jake Shields was actually on the boat with us.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. And we went on. I was like, oh, this is so fun. I got this nice boat.
Full
We're gonna go to
beach
the
day. We got
Full
everything
beach day.
packed.
I'm pulling up like, I was like, fuck, my boat's not working. I was like, oh, I didn't gas it up. I was so embarrassed.
He's like, oh, we were like, oh, guys, come on. They came from the city. They were living in the city. They took the train over. We got like sandwiches, everything. We're ready to go. And we like just pulled out and we're like,
Done.
ran out. So we like,
My friend had to bring us gas.
I think we got to
We
the,
drifted in.
yeah,
And
we got to like the beach where we docked. So it took us like forever, but we got there and then our friend just like brought us gas. So it ended up being fine. But it was like, yeah, we got this boat. We take it to the beach. It's so cool. And then they get on. They're like, what happened? We're like, ran out of gas. Yeah, just ran out of gas.
couple issues.
Yeah.
They say the best boat to be on is your friend's boat because it's so costly, but I'm not sure if I want to be on you guys' boat.
Yeah, you guys should come. No, now I think we got it down. Well, at least now we have it where if something goes wrong, we can pretty much like,
Figure it out. Yeah.
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 yeah,
You've been through it all.
yeah,
It's kind of it's the same with motorcycles, with anything. There's a learning curve. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
anybody that buys a bike, eventually you're gonna go down, and with boating, eventually you're gonna run aground.
Yeah.
Especially around here, because everybody's in the bay, and the bay is really the deepest part of the bay here is only like 8 feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe 10. But if you go outside those buoy markers and outside the channel,
Yeah,
I mean, you're in, a foot, 2 foot of water.
How about
and it's
Sarge?
murky, so
in,
you can't see it. Oh, the jet ski story.
Abu Dhabi, right?
Were you
That
with
was-
her when that happened?
Yeah, she
Oh,
was there. It was my
shit.
fight, and I
Oh,
remember
right.
I was like, she was like, "Oh, I want to go out." They were all like, "Come on, let's go out on the jet skis," and then I was like, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't mean, I'm like, I feel like I sound like a baby, but I would be so embarrassed. I was like, I would just be really embarrassed if like I got hurt on a jet ski.
I know.
It's one thing if you get hurt like training,
Right,
whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna stay back.
Leave that for Cowboy.
Yeah. And then she came back and she was messed up.
Her face was a mess.
Her
Yeah,
face
yeah.
was so bad. She like lost her like Gucci sunglasses. She just bought from the week. She won her fight the week before. She bought these. She was my glasses went off. She's like, I was chasing some ring girl. Some like hot ring girl was on the one before in front of me, and I was trying to chase her, and she just fucking went. I was like, that was so bad. And she fought like the week before and had like no scratches or
Comes back
anything.
all jacked
So then
up.
everyone's like, oh, is that from the fight? She's like, no.
No, mangrove tree.
She's like, no.
She's lucky though. I mean,
Yeah.
She could die. That's
easily.
it.
If you
Yeah.
land on your face.
Or like they said the week before, I forget who it was, one of the fighters. I guess he fought, and then the next day before he left, he went on the jet ski and he crashed it, and he like totaled the jet ski, and he had to pay like.
I was gonna say, how does that work? Do
he
they
had
have?
to pay like $7,000 for the jet ski.
So I went to Wyoming with my cousin, and we rented snowmobiles, and we went like up in the back country and stuff. We went snowmobiling, and I binked a tree, but I bought the insurance right before I bought it. Before I rented the ski, I bought insurance. He did too. It didn't cover it. It was like it only covered if it was like over $6,000 worth of damage or something, like in the fine print.
Yours was
So I
like
had-
$5,000.
Yeah, mine was like
How
a
much was the
grand. It was like a
insurance?
grand. I
paid
wasn't.
it?
I had to pay like I think it was like $700-800 or something. The insurance was maybe like, to rent the ski. Let's say to rent the ski for 2 days was $800, whatever. I'm just throwing out random figures. You could get insurance on it for an extra $100, So I'm like, yeah, sure. God knows shit can happen,
Yeah.
So I got the insurance. So when I binked the tree, I'm like, I'm good. And Kyle did the same thing. My cousin did the same thing. He actually hit a tree way harder. He's a better rider than me. He rides all the time, but he did this crazy maneuver off this big, lip. And try to do like a flip basically, and it got away from him, and then it just started going down this incline hill right into these trees, and I'm like, oh my! And you see the snow knock off all the the trees carry the snow in the top. The thing hit the tree so hard, you see all the snow like the top of the trees. So I'm like, that shit is totaled. Like, because I just bumped a tree and like fucked up a fairing on mine. I'm like, his shit is totaled. We walked all the way down in there. It was fine. It had like a tiny little piece of broken plastic. I'm like, you fucker.
You should
Yeah.
have taken it back out
Yeah.
and beat it up.
But we
Yeah,
both
right? Yeah,
we
like,
both
wait a minute. Yeah.
got insurance, and we both still had to pay.
You should have just crashed into the tree head on.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's insurance covered.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of weird how that works, but
You don't. I saw you were snowboarding.
Yeah.
You don't like ever worry about getting hurt and stuff. No.
I mean,
You do it all like every year.
no.
This
I mean,
guy-
I
this
try to
guy-
go once a year. I try
guy's-
to,
That's
but
what I do.
we don't. I wish I go more. Actually, this past time I went was probably the most I snowboarded in 10 years. We went 4 days and I on the mountain.
Where do you go?
I just went to Shawnee.
What's Shawnee?
Shawnee and Poconos.
Oh, Poconos.
Yeah,
We go
It's
to Vermont.
Super. Yeah, that's probably so. It's a
Vermont's
lot
real
better.
deal,
A lot
yeah.
better. This is-
Burlington.
Where did we? No,
Strat-
Mount Snow.
Mount Snow,
Right,
yeah,
right
yeah.
outside Stratton. You know Ryan LaFleur. You know.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
So we went with him, and he's like a legit professional snowboarder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, pretty close.
Yeah,
so
I'm
I try to
not
like keep
kidding.
up with him, which I definitely
it.
cannot.
I
But
take my time. I mean, I sit in some jump. I mean, like I said, every time I go, because I always like wait in between years when I go, so I feel like I'm learning the first couple runs.
Same, yeah.
But this, that 4 days in a row, I'm like, I'm getting this down pretty good.
Well,
But
she's so scared to go, so she just sits in the
I just
place.
feel like you
But it's smart.
get
I
hurt
think
doing
you're
anything.
smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you can, but for some reason I'm like, that I feel like there was like a couple years in a row when I was in high school. I used to go skiing all the time. Like our high school had a ski club, and we
Right.
would go to like Blue Mountain every week. And then I had a couple winters in a row where I was like in camp or I had a fight coming up right away. So then I was like, all right, it's too soon. I'm not going to go. And then I got like, from not going for so long, I'm like, well, now
Nervous,
I haven't gone.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then it was like, all right, like, so we went like a couple weeks ago. And then I was like, it worked out because Ryan's wife doesn't go out. So me and
Yeah.
her just like drank all day, which I was like, all right, I think I would have been better off just skiing.
Probably.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. I think like that's something after fighting.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, then I'll do that.
Yeah,
It's really the fear that is going to take you out of the fight game. Basically, it's not the fear. It's hard to think that you guys are intimidated by stuff like snowboarding, but it's not really that. It's
you just don't want to
you
be
get
there.
a,
ACL,
you get an
and then
injury,
you're
and then
fucked,
you
yeah.
can't do what pays your bills. So that's,
Yeah.
I lived in Colorado for 3 years. I never skied.
Never
one
got to
time.
go 'cause you're
No,
wrestling
I
all
mean,
the time,
I was
yeah.
like, I went and hung out at places, but I never skied one time in Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, I started snowboarding the first time I think when I was 13. I didn't go till I was like 26 because of
Yeah.
wrestling, and then since 26 to now, I probably went 10 times. You know what I mean? I barely get to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're done, it's
Yeah,
fun. It's
yeah.
a fun thing to do in the
So
winter.
and now I know how to do it. My kid, I got my one son doing it. Actually, both of them were doing
Daughter
it.
was killing it on
Yeah,
skis.
she was going
Yeah,
down.
she
She was
was
going
good.
down. And
Really good.
Santino on the last day, he was going down a black diamond. Although it's like Shawnee's like
Yeah,
like a
still.
blue, but still, I'm like, yeah, all right, we're good.
I think I showed him. I saw Renee posted the video of your daughter doing it. And
She
I
was
showed
killing
him.
it.
I was like,
no
oh,
poles.
Yeah, no poles.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
V plow.
Pizza.
Yeah, still. I was like,
Yeah.
I think
She was
that
cruising though.
I think that like same thing for we were talking about like before when I used to go is like you go once a year, you miss 1 year, so it's hard to
Right.
get into it. But like when we went to Vermont, you went a couple days, and I think
Yeah.
if you
Get
go
the-
like for 4 days
It's like
straight,
riding a bike.
That's what
You
I
pick it
felt.
back
Yeah, I
up,
felt like
yeah.
I started really getting a feel for it.
yeah.
My daughter, when she was going down, because Renee was pretty much right behind her, she was going the whole time, fucking whole time going
Oh
down.
god, it's crazy.
Funny,
Your
man.
boys wrestle though, right?
They do. My middle one, he's more into it. My older one, he's comes and goes, but he's been doing it now. He's probably gonna wrestle for his intermediate school this year.
How old's the one who's into it?
He's 10.
10.
Yeah. He's been. I mean, both of them started wrestling when they were like 4-ish, 5-ish, but he stuck with it the whole time. My other one's kind of in and out.
I've showed you videos too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's you never know how it's gonna be. You know,
don't.
wrestling's a hard ass
Yeah,
sport,
you don't.
and
'Cause-
but he has the grit and the toughness, has the ability. So we'll see.
Yeah, because sometimes like I train little kids and their dads will think like, oh well, he won the state, so he's gonna just keep getting
Right,
better.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a kid in 9th grade who's never wrestled before. He's gonna come out for the team
Yeah,
he's
and
gonna
be nasty.
great
Yeah.
by the time he's a senior.
Right. I mean,
It
I
doesn't mean-
didn't start until 7th grade. You
Same
know,
with me.
so
Who was
you
the
know,
kid? Who was the Jackson kid that had all the hype behind him? And he
Scotty
went
Winston.
to Scotty. He went
Yeah.
to Rutgers,
Yeah.
right? And it
Yeah.
kind of didn't.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
he-
that's a product of the program, probably.
Yeah.
Because back then, Rutgers wasn't. What
Well,
it
that's
is
like
now.
right now.
He was
well,
like the
well,
first good guy. At
Yeah,
Rutgers.
Goodale was his high school coach,
Yes.
and then he went to Rutgers, and he brought him
But
with
then
him.
now, if you go to Rutgers, like I always, me
Yeah,
and Gregor
support
talk about
system,
this
yeah.
all the time. It's like if a program has 3 All-Americans like a year, that's kind of like Rutgers.
Yeah, yeah.
You have a 30% chance of being All-American.
Right? Yeah, that's a good way to look
like
at it. Yeah.
Penn State, if you break the lineup, 90% chance of being All-American.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have like a
yeah.
40% chance of being.
Yeah,
a
I didn't look at it
national
like that.
champion.
Yeah,
that's
true.
how we always think about it.
Right? Yeah.
And like if a program never has or like one, like Clarion, like one every few years.
Right,
like,
right, yeah, that's-
your stats are very,
right,
very low.
right.
Like
Well, then,
Cornell, 50% chance
yeah,
of being All-American.
but what's the chances of you breaking the lineup?
That's the thing.
Once you
Yeah.
break the lineup, then you're pretty much guaranteed. Yeah.
But Scotty Winston is a good example. Like if he 6 years later, when they have 3, he
Right.
probably would have.
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
I didn't think of it that
But
way.
you've
But
seen people do it before
that's how
you.
it
They had
is.
the know-how. Scotty, his thing was, man, I just feel like he was afraid to get tired. I'd wrestle him. This is when I'd wrestle him. We were more the same size. If we did a 2-minute go or 1-minute go, I'm in trouble. If we do a 10-minute go, I know I'm gonna do all right because he just paced himself too much. You know.
Yeah.
Some dudes are scared to get tired.
Yeah. He was. I coached at Penn for a few years, and I remember him.
Yeah. You were at Penn for what years were you there?
10 and 11.
10, 11. Okay. Yeah, I think I was at Rutgers 7, 8, and 9. That's what I was helping him out. I still go up there a little bit now. Sebastian Rivera is Sebastian Rivera. Yeah, he's there. It's Steve's son.
Yeah.
So
just changed the weight class too, though, didn't he?
he's been 25, 33, now 41. Yeah.
Oh, he's 41.
Yeah. Third seed at Nationals.
He's great.
It's coming up Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
He's got a lot of hype behind him.
maybe he'll win.
I mean, he's a good shot. I mean, he
What's
lost.
his-
He
'cause
lost.
this year. Yanni's not in that weight.
Yanni's not now. Yeah, because Cornell's out. That's right. Yeah, that's
to
right.
win.
Yeah.
COVID took him out last year, right? He could.
Kobe, he was number 1 seed at
Right.
33. He beat Seth Gross and RBY at Big
And
Ten.
Dayton Fix was out for the
And
Olympics.
Dayton Fix was out. I mean, a good chance he would have won it, and then it doesn't happen. And this year, I still think he can get it done this year, man. He's wrestled Nick Lee in the semis at Big Tens, and it was a barn burner of a match. And he only had like 3 matches going in. I think he got some more goes at the Big Ten, so should be good.
Totally off subject. Change the subject. Put you guys on the spot a little bit because I do want to hear your side of it. I heard a story. I was doing a little background on you guys. Whatever. I heard a story Michael Bisping told about you guys.
Oh my god, this is crazy.
But I want to hear your side
I
of
didn't
it.
hear this
We
story.
told this on our podcast.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Bisping talked a little shit. Said that, I guess when he was in New York, walked across the street from his hotel, went into a little bar, and you and I guess your crew were walking in at the same time, held the door open for you, and apparently the people behind the bar thought they were all together, and I think you guys left a little early. And he's saying, this is his version.
Yeah.
He's saying that he got stuck with their tab. They walked out on the tab. So I want to hear your story of it.
Yeah.
Your version of it, rather.
So he like went on
He was already sitting down.
Yeah, he was already sitting.
Oh, so right off Jump Street, his story's not even true.
No.
Okay.
It was like he was like.
She smoothed it out.
Oh, he was
Okay.
wasted.
Since
Yeah,
then,
he gets
but
it.
he was. Do you want to say
Yeah, I know.
He was like blacked out.
Okay.
And he was sitting there with I think like two guys, and they were ordering food that like full dinners, and we were there. It was us and Dave Zabriskie.
I don't think
I
so.
think he's from Jersey. He's a national champion for Iowa State, heavyweight.
I'm not sure.
But now he coaches at where Neil Magny fights. He's like the grappling coach out there. But he was sitting there. We each had like one draft, like one, maybe two, like one or two beers. And like Bisping and his guys, they had like full entrees. Then they came, they brought the check, and it was, like $200 or whatever. And I was like, we were like, they put all our food on there. We'll give you money for the bill. And he looked at it, he's like, what'd you have? Like 2 beers. And, I gave him like 2 20s.
Yeah.
Whatever. Which was definitely more.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think I could buy you guys a beer. Like going on and on. Like, I think I can afford a beer.
All right, man.
we're like,
Shit,
oh,
take another.
His story he
And we
told
were-
ain't even close to
and
that.
we were like, and so we were like, no. I was like, here, you don't know us. And then he kept insisting, like,
we're
I think
like,
I
here,
can afford a
he's-
beer. Like,
He's like, don't worry about
Obviously you
it. Don't
can.
worry. He's like, I got it. We're like, no, it's fine. Like we were kind of like sitting at the bar. I think we had like maybe exchanged words with them a little bit, but we weren't like
talked a
hanging
little.
out with
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
So then
yeah,
he's
right.
like, I don't know why they thought whatever. Maybe I think we walked in similar times, and I think then he was like, oh, we're like, why is our bills together? We're like, we're not with him, and he's like, oh, I got it, and we're like. No, like we weren't even hanging out with you. We're like, no, it's fine. He's like, I think I can get it. And like we're like, all right. We like argue back and forth about it, and then we're just like, all right, whatever. We're like,
Thanks, bro. See you later.
We're like, thank you, whatever.
See, now he makes it sound like you guys just totally just walked out on the whole
Yeah.
bit. All right.
Yeah,
And then
that's
he
grimy.
Sounds
talked
like
about
maybe
it.
you had a little too much to drink, which happens sometimes,
And then like that Tuesday or whatever, like I don't listen to his podcast, but like people kept sending it to us and like sending her like terrible tweets.
Oh,
and, like,
shit.
They're like, he went on his podcast and was like, oh, I was at.
Well, he didn't name you till the very end,
No,
and it
he
sounded
goes-
like he wasn't going to name you.
No,
and then
that's
at the
what
very
he
he
end,
said a certain
Yeah,
blonde.
yeah,
fighter.
yeah,
He goes,
yeah.
I'm not gonna. He's like a one female fighter. He's like, I'm not gonna say any names. Well, let's just call her blonde fighter. So I was like,
Yeah,
all right.
okay, come
And
on.
he's like, yeah, her and her guy, they walked down and they stuck me with their tab. And he didn't act like he was not acting like he was joking at all.
No.
And then like I was getting like. These people, every picture, I put a picture of like my dog. Every picture was like, "Oh, you're such a scumbag!" But I can't believe you did it and everything. And then like I DM'd him. I was like, "Hey, I don't even remember exactly."
You're like, just so you know, that didn't happen.
I was like, "Yeah, that
and
didn't."
he's like,
That's
oh, I know. I was just joking. With
yeah,
you.
yeah. I was like, "That's not what
what?
happened." And I'm like, and he's like, "Ha, no, I was just joking around on my podcast." I was like, "But you really weren't."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You like."
Kind of
maybe,
throw me
like,
on blast.
Yeah, I was like,
That's
you put me
still
on-
people still say it. From
Yes,
time to time.
every once in a while, like I'll post. That was like I don't know, like 2 years ago, and I'll still post a picture, and someone will like say something about it. But I'm like, you like kind of just like put like some girl on blast when it's something that didn't even happen. I'm like, it was kind of messed up, and he's like, no, I was just joking. I'm like, all right, whatever.
It was
man.
so crazy because he was like going on and on. He's like, I think I could afford a beer.
He was probably just little in the bag, little tank. Probably
Oh,
didn't have a
for
good
sure.
recollection of it.
And
No,
I think maybe he
Oh,
was
wow.
just joking about it.
Right.
I think he probably was and didn't
Right.
realize it was
He's
gonna.
gonna spread like that. He's
Yeah.
like, I need some material for the podcast.
I was gonna say controversy sells. Maybe it was just a little hyped up, but yeah,
Yeah.
I was curious what your,
That's funny.
what happened. I guess really in
Yeah.
your version of it. So
Like shit, for the beer, I have a couple shots too.
Yeah. Yeah, if it was gonna be all that, then if we're gonna deal with all that. We should have got a couple.
he
more
did
drinks.
kind of make it sound like he had no idea who you are, though. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well, that night he
you're
was-
a commentator, bro. Like
No,
she's the
he was like, oh, he actually, I remember specifically. He asked me if I was Platinum Princess. I was like,
that night.
Yeah, I was like-
he was definitely drunk.
shit faced.
yeah, he was like, oh, aren't you that Platinum Princess? I'm like, no, I'm not Mike Perry's girlfriend. I was like, I'm actually like ranked #1 in the UFC.
Yeah.
He's like, and he wasn't even like joking. He like he was like totally out of it.
Yeah,
I was
New
like,
York or Brooklyn? What was
It was-
Brooklyn.
yeah, but it was in New York. We stayed in the city, but it was
It was when
Brook-
Khabib fought
Al
Quinta.
That
Okay,
was
yeah.
my-
Oh, actually, Quinta did. Of everybody that fought Khabib, I thought he did really well in that
He
fight.
did.
Yeah.
He really did.
When that fight
And that was a
happened,
short notice fight, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, he was on the
the
card.
day before.
Yeah.
They put 5 rounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
But it
I
wasn't
I
short.
mean,
After that fight,
nobody does well against Khabib. Nobody, and he. I mean, listen, he got dominated, but not horribly as everybody else
He
does.
stuffed a bunch of takedowns.
He did,
at the
yeah,
end,
yeah.
You know?
After that fight, I was like, I think maybe Gagey could beat him.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I thought Gagey was like a legit D1 wrestler, like scrambling and like
I don't
not
get-
like an offensive wrestler, but
Yeah, no, I know. But
I just don't know what happened to him that night. It just seems
Well, I
he
mean-
just seemed off.
well, Habib
I
was
think he's just not used to getting taken down.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Habib had mountain like very quick.
Right.
You know, he's a beast.
But that, I thought because that Alec Quinta is a high school wrestler.
yeah, I know.
Gagey was a D1 All American.
Yeah,
You know that?
yeah, I know. Definitely. But he I don't know.
That's why
I
after-
Like, I
think he
always
just
thought,
likes fucking.
After that, when he fought Iaquinta, I always thought I was like, oh, Gregor matches up good.
Yeah,
with
I know. That's
Khabib.
what I thought too.
But now maybe.
But now after Gage, you're like, well, maybe
Yeah.
not.
No, but no. Gregor's like
That's
next
different.
level
Yeah,
wrestling.
dude.
And
Totally
his
different.
jiu-jitsu is
It's
really good.
yeah, top
Yeah.
game. Damn. Yeah.
No, and everywhere.
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's usually on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's got good triangles,
But his
though.
triangle's like really
Oh,
good.
really?
Crazy, yeah.
He thinks
Yeah.
he's gonna. We were talking about. He's like, I think I'm gonna get this in the night. He's fighting this weekend.
Yeah,
coming
that's
up.
right, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I keep landing this triangle. He's like, I'm gonna get this in the fight.
That-
I always thought Tony Ferguson maybe, I didn't think he'd win, but I always thought he probably was the best matchup for Khabib. Obviously, that never happened, and then he fought Justin, and Justin destroyed him, and I was like, ran through him.
And,
then
Charles Oliveira is even worse.
Yeah,
that's right.
exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think Tony Ferguson when he made the weight when it got canceled, right?
Think
And then
that
he
had a lot to do with it?
I don't know, but he just doesn't like when he gets down to weight, bro. He looks
Drawn
like
out.
He looks scary.
he looks old, man. I mean, I'm old, but he looks
Yeah.
old. I feel like, and
And,
like,
like-
and his muscles don't have like pop to him. You know what I mean? Like, I
Like
don't know.
every
I don't know
fighter
if the
loves-
weight cut did
He
that or
needs to
what.
get people tired, I think.
Yeah.
And when then I think he starts looking really good.
Oh yeah. He feeds off that.
But I
Some
think
people say he does better with a crowd too. Did you
Oh
hear
yeah,
that?
yeah. I did hear that. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
To me, is this like, if you're the best guy in the world,
yeah.
Right, doesn't matter.
you should be able to beat
Right.
someone in a big octagon and a small octagon
Right.
with the crowd, with no crowd. I mean, that's how I feel. You know, if you're the best, if you're the absolute best.
And that's what Khabib
But
does.
sometimes that's why fights matter. You know, that's why you have the fights because
Right.
some people are better in certain conditions than others. You know.
Can you think of anybody that looked better than Al Quinta against Khabib? I can't.
Well, who did he fight early? It was kind of
Oh,
a close
yes,
fight,
Tebow,
Tebow, yeah,
yes,
I
Tebow,
think
yes.
Tebow took him down.
He did
or
look
something.
good. I forgot about
Yeah,
that
yeah,
fight.
that was
Yep.
like one of his
Fleece
first
and
fights.
Tebow, yep.
And Tebow is about as big as you, bro.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's jacked. He
Yeah.
is. I did forget about that. T-Bow looked good. I don't know who looked better. It was a toss up, but yeah, that was early. It
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
it was.
Khabib fought Gage. I thought his like striking looked amazing.
Yeah.
He was,
Yeah.
like, pressuring
Oh,
him
yeah.
so much.
Well, who would have thought he would have clipped Connor, knocked Connor down for
Yeah.
God's sakes, and he
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
You know.
He gets worried about the takedowns a lot. And then
Yeah,
opens
and
it up.
open it up. He's a bear too of a dude.
You ever train with him?
Habib once he was like 200 pounds. He was coming off knee surgery. He was being nice too, you know. But we grappled a little bit.
He's
And,
like a god in his country.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy. When I was there, I was in Chechnya at some event, and he was next to me, and they put the camera on him. And the crowd went fucking bananas, dude. It's crazy.
like different
Think-
than anything
You
here.
think he's
Yeah.
coming back? I mean,
Not
obviously.
one woman in the
they're-
crowd.
yeah, right.
Literally,
where
right?
are they?
Not allowed in the building. yeah.
Nah.
Different culture.
Yeah.
Think he's coming back? Rounded off to
No.
50? No, you don't
Nope.
think he's on? Because
You
he
mean
prom-
30? But yeah, no.
Sorry, I meant 30.
Yeah.
Because because he promised his dad?
I think so. Yeah. He's
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he's coming back. I mean,
I
yeah.
feel like anyone else, I'm like, I mean, they probably would, but
Right.
for I don't know.
I just feel like
don't know
he's-
him, but
yeah,
I feel like
his
he's.
word
not
I mean, I
is-
don't. I know him. I know him a little bit, but I don't know him great. But I just feel like he's not a money guy. I mean, he already
He's
has.
gotta have so much
he has
money.
so much already.
Because I mean, those people like the government pays them.
Yeah,
right?
dude. I
Like,
think
it's
he goes to like
Like
Abu
Dubai
Dhabi
and
or
stuff
Dubai.
like
He
that.
gets probably $500,000 just to go there.
Yeah.
You know, like, he
He's
don't
got
need
like
money.
oil money.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
from
he,
that,
yeah,
you
he
know.
don't need that money.
It's
Hey,
different.
do you think
And
though?
he's like a big principal guy. You
Yeah.
know.
Do you think if there was somebody worthy? I mean, I just think he's levels ahead of everybody in his division. If somebody worthy came along and proved themselves, do you think he'd come back?
Maybe, I mean, DC was like, oh, if Islam loses to someone, I mean, he maybe come back and fight the guy Islam lost to.
I think that
that's
makes
right.
it look worse for Islam.
I
If they're
know.
boys, like you don't want your boy to beat someone who beat you.
Yeah, I know.
right,
But yeah, you
right.
better stay retired, motherfucker.
Yeah, 'cause that makes you look really bad,
Right,
right? I
right.
sort of think.
Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of like when I lost to Valentina, and then the next fight I fought her
Fought her
sister,
sister.
Yeah.
and like it was so annoying because everyone's like, "Oh,
Revenge,
did that feel
revenge,
good?" I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Doesn't
"That's
work
so
like that.
embarrassing." I'm like, "Stop asking me that." And
Yeah.
it was funny. Even like this one girl fighter was like, "That had to have felt so good." I'm
What?
like,
Like,
I'm
girl,
like-
what are you talking about?
I was like, "You do
Different
this?
people.
Like, how do you?" I was like, "What?" I'm like, when people would ask me that all the time, it was so. I was like, "That's so
I
embarrassing."
didn't realize that's her older sister. I always thought
Yeah.
younger because obviously you would think you
Yeah.
know the pedigree there she would have more fights and stuff, but
Yeah.
being the older sister,
But yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, you feel so much better." I was like, "Oh, no, it's just nothing."
yeah.
The strangest thing is how they don't allow Khabib to retire or take his belt. Like
Oh,
Henry,
yeah.
I remember when Henry retired.
so-
Yeah, yanked it
It
right
was
away.
on Saturday.
Yeah.
On Monday, he was out of the
Yeah.
Tuesday, he was
Right.
out of the rankings.
Right.
Like 2 days.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're stringing him on. It's like, oh, we're going out to dinner, and he said he might come back
Yeah,
if
they're hoping.
someone's impressive.
They're hoping.
I
They're
saw
hoping.
the meme. It was like, his face, like obviously when he's like
All the
heavier,
dinners.
and then it was his face when he's like on weight, and then like if Dana wants him to fight again, then he's got to stop taking him out to dinner. His face is like all puffy.
I just seen actually post something today, where he's in San Francisco. He's like, I've always wanted to be here in San Francisco to walk around and eat and just do whatever I want and not have to be an athlete. It's good not to be an athlete right now. It's
Yeah.
like he's enjoying his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him, man. He doesn't have anything to prove, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, neither did George St. Pierre, and he came back, you know. He didn't have anything to prove. That guy, he went out on
He
That's
top.
came
kinda like
back
the
for
perfect storm.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. He came back for the perfect storm.
Like
Yeah.
Luke
Thing?
Rockhold
Yeah.
didn't get knocked out. He's not coming back and fighting Luke
No,
Rockhold.
no way. Mm-mm. He was smart about that.
Perfect storm.
Yeah.
And yeah.
He did the one, and then he's like, "All right, I'm good."
Well, you're saying because he was confident he could beat Bisping.
I think he thought it was the
favorable
best.
matchup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And Bisping's great, but
Yeah, at that time. And he was tired. George got tired too that fight, man. He toughed it out.
he
I
was
gotta
tired
give it to
going
him.
into it. Like he had a hard time breathing. It was so
Yeah,
big.
yeah. He's not used to having all that weight on him.
Then like after he was like, "Oh, I had all these like health issues. I was like throwing up," and he said he was like throwing up blood like the night before the
I believe
fight
that,
and all
too.
that, and
Wow.
then he had like serious health issues that he almost pulled out of the fight.
Really?
I'm like,
I
I think he said this recently too. But he hates to fight. Like Mark told me, he's been in the back with him, and he's like, said George is like going up to all the fighters. Why are we doing this, brother? We should have
Yeah.
went to college.
I remember Danaher
He loves
said
to
that.
train though.
Yeah, yeah,
He's doing
yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff still.
I
Like, I
know.
see him. Like, I follow him on Instagram, and he's doing like track sprints. And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
I
Rip
saw
my
that. He was.
hamstring off if I did a
I
sprint.
saw him pushing like a sled on a frozen lake. Like, yeah, it was crazy.
He's like
Isn't-
always doing gymnastics and
Yeah,
stuff. I'm
yeah.
like, you're not fighting. You're
I
just
know.
doing all that. Like, I mean, when I'm done fighting, I'll definitely work out, but I don't know if I'm gonna be running sprints and doing
Yeah,
gymnastics.
gymnastics. Oh.
What, Caitlin? Who do you feel like was a tougher fight for you, Andrade or Valentina?
Definitely Valentina.
Valentina.
Yeah,
Andrade didn't really get to get going. With
yeah,
that
I
I
felt.
felt like you were doing well on that till you got with that body
I think
shot.
you
You know, you were doing
Yeah.
well on that.
I
fight.
mean,
one.
it's-
I thought when he defended the takedown, I'm like, oh, we got this.
Yeah.
Right
You know?
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, once it sucks because it's easy to say, but like I felt it, and I was like, up until that point, I think I was like losing the round, but I was like, I felt at one point, I was like, okay, she took me down, and then she didn't want to hold me down, she stood back up, and then the second time I like reversed her and came up, and I was like, okay, I was like, well, now I don't have to worry about the takedown because she can't do anything,
right.
and then I just felt like I was like starting to open up, and then like the annoying part was I was like, I feel like she didn't even know she hit me with a body shot. Like when I went to the other side, she like kind of like looked at her corner, like she didn't,
Yeah.
it didn't register. She
Right,
wasn't
right.
like, she didn't sit down
Going
and
for
hit
the
it.
kill,
She was
yeah.
like not even looking, and it just hit me, and I was like, so that part kind of sucks, but yeah, I definitely, and stylistically, I mean, I think I've seen her fight other like really good strikers, how she fights Johanna and Rose, which I think my style is like a little bit similar
Right.
to. So I think my style match up good with her, but unfortunately,
Yeah, too bad. I
yeah.
wish we get that one back.
Yeah, that's one. That's like probably my only loss that I'm like.
Wait, now did she go up? She went up? She went
yeah.
up, right?
So now, that my fight with her was her first one up at 25, and then now she's gonna fight Valentina. But
She was
Valentina
at-
was
she was the
different.
champ at 15, right?
Mhm, Yeah.
Yeah.
She had it for like one.
One
Well,
Slammed Rose.
Oh yeah, that's right.
she
Yeah,
slammed
yeah, yeah,
Rose,
yeah.
and then and then her next fight was when like Whaley like pretty much just like
Oh, they ran
manhandled
through her,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah.
everyone's like, oh, who's this girl?
Wei Lee's a badass,
Yeah.
dude. A badass.
You ever see like her training videos like
No.
she'll post on? She's like,
I thought she
Great.
lost her last fight though.
Against
Yeah.
Johanna?
It was
I
on.
thought she
Yeah.
did, yeah.
I think I was there. That was the last like real.
That was the last
The last,
fight.
yeah.
before COVID.
Joanna has like the best stare downs and talks all that trash and stuff. She's like, the best at it in the women's division or whatever. But Wei Lee, who doesn't speak any English, just goes, "Shut up."
Yeah. Well, both of them kind of like talk. Both of
fight.
them like trying to talk smack to each other, and English is like not their first
Right,
language.
right.
It's kind of funny. It was a little cute.
I think Joanna's a little better at it than Wei Lee, though.
Yeah. She definitely has more experience with
Yeah.
it. That's kind of her thing.
That little foot that wants to stare down and shit.
She got in trouble before that. Remember, this was like before COVID was as big as it was, and she put like it looked like the tail of the tape, and it was like her, and then it was Wei Lee with like the what is it, the hazmat?
Oh, hazmat suit.
Outfit on,
shit.
and everyone's like, "That's not funny. That's right." But this was, and she was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize." This is like, before she realized like
Right.
how big COVID
Wei Lee
was.
should have Wei Lee should have just made her like a conehead. Though,
Yeah, right.
That's what she looked like when she came out of that fight.
Yeah, we had at the time, me and Johanna had the same manager, and they showed like I saw a picture of her like 2 days after the fight because she didn't post any pictures.
Right.
Her like
I can't imagine.
her whole face, like the
Black.
swelling,
Like, is it what dry?
it went
yeah.
down, and it went not one part of her face wasn't black and blue, and it was like down on her neck. Like she had glasses. Like she had to go out. She went out like with a hood, and but no one would ever recognize her. She didn't even look like a human.
Right.
It was crazy. And then she didn't break anything. It was just like
Damn.
I was
That's
like,
crazy.
oh my god! I
That's
saw
just the
that.
hematoma, right? That's what it is. Yeah.
Crazy.
That was the most
I
don't
don't
think
think
thing.
like that.
I've never seen her in a bad fight. Every fight she's in is
Yeah.
amazing. It really is. Win or lose, they're always close. Never really been dominated in any way.
She was like the first, I guess Ronda was, but she was like a superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
when she fought, like at MSG, that
Oh, yeah.
205.
Yeah.
Like she was a draw.
She was. Polish people, man. They're big in New York.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like her. Me and her kind of like internet friends.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
She was like, because she now trains at American Top Team, but she hasn't been there. So I was like in Florida, and I put it. She's like, "You're in Florida." She's like, "Why are you?" She's like, "You should come when I'm there, whatever." So we're
That's
probably.
cool. Yeah.
I'd like to train
Like
with her.
early in her career, I mean, she's just scary looking with that stare down and stuff. But that now she seems to be like
Now
into
she's
the
cute.
she's
She's
into the
she's
beauty
softened
stuff
up.
now.
Yeah.
I think she even got fake boobs,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's kind of going a little Paige Van Sant now.
Yeah. She's definitely.
Hey,
like,
sex sells, bro.
Yeah, it does.
definitely,
It does.
definitely fighting less.
You see what Paige
Yeah.
Paige posts? I mean, everything is in underwear or
She put. I saw the other day. She got the
bikinis, underwear.
She
Like,
got the OnlyFans, and she'll put like. The
oh, she
sheet-
does.
OnlyFans?
She does.
I think that
Oh,
all the
shit.
girl. I think like all like.
I'll give you my
the-
password once I join.
I think all like the hot chicks that are getting cut from the UFC, they're all going to bare knuckle, and then the same week it was her, the Pearl Gonzalez, and the Rachel Ostovich.
Well, Rowdy Beck went over there,
Yeah.
and she's done really well. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a killer over there.
Yeah.
But,
Who is?
Rowdy,
Beck Rawlings.
the
she was
Australian.
for the bare knuckle.
She's
Yeah,
a
she was the
straight
first
killer.
one to do it.
I
I'm
haven't
actually
seen it yet.
surprised she doesn't have
I
an
mean,
OnlyFans
maybe
because
clips
she's.
of it,
Probably
She might.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably does. But all those girls, they all went to bare knuckle this week. This week, the other two girls got signed, and then the same week, all three of them came out with like the OnlyFans. I think it's kind of
No
like a
shit.
bare knuckle.
Yeah.
But like Paige had she had the sneak peek of she had like the schoolgirl outfit on and everything. She was like,
shit.
But then you
Playing
see
into
like
it.
in the comments, they're all like, she doesn't show anything. Don't waste your money. But the one girl fighter too, Felice Herring, she does one, and it's only
She
her.
does?
But it's only
I always
her
thought.
feet.
I always
Only
thought.
her feet.
Ah, what the fuck?
Yeah,
That's a
but I
ripoff.
think she like.
I always thought. I
Some
always
people are
thought.
into feet, bro.
I always thought she was
People
cute.
are into
People
feet.
buy her feet pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
you
sold
know that?
feet pics.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I've sold like socks before.
Really?
Someone paid like $400 for a pair of socks. I was
Mail
like,
or-
"Oh,
Wait,
Yo,
but wait.
what is- You know, you
They-
imagine what he's doing with them socks.
Yeah, he's
Or
definitely
even
doing
like
some
a
shit.
picture, though, like a picture.
A picture of
There's
my
a
feet?
website called Wiki Feet,
You guys,
and they like rate.
you guys
No
are
way.
so far behind on this.
So wait, people hit you up, or you just knew about it? and was like, "Fuck it, I'll sell a picture of my feet for
no.
$400."
No, like in my DMs, like it's all the time. It's like feet. So now it's like then you realize like, all right, when I post, first of all, like we don't train with shoes on, so
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
every picture I post has my feet on. I'm like, I'm not posting that up there.
No,
like
you
I could
could
sell
sell
that.
that shit.
I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
people are doing that.
that's
Like,
a boat payment right
yeah,
there.
exactly, right. And then, but the one girl told me, they're like, oh, this was like years ago about Wiki Feet. And I was like,
I never heard of
I was
it.
like, I don't know what that is. She's like, yeah, type your name in. She's like, almost like people that are like obsessed with feet are really obsessed with female fighters because you
Right.
see their bare
Barefoot.
feet all the time. Just because
Yeah, yeah,
when
right,
else would
right.
you see it? And so when you go on, like, I'll type my name in Wiki Feet, and it has like probably like hundreds of
and
pictures
a
of my
ranking.
feet.
A ranking.
It's crazy.
And there's pictures that like I had posted before, like, and people
They
will
zoom
take
in
them
on your
off
feet?
and they'll put them, and I'm like, I didn't. If you're like not into feet, you wouldn't even notice. And then if you are, you're like, oh my god. I'm like, I'm whoring myself out there. Like the one picture, I was like, ooh, just got a pedicure, took a picture of my feet. I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a whore. Just
I think
posting that out there.
because that seems to be huge. So I think you're either into it or you're not. I'm not into feet, man. I'm just not into. Are you into feet, bro?
I mean,
I'm not. I'm just not.
Someone said to her once, they were like, can I buy some foot pictures? And she's like, yeah. Then they're how much? And she said, whatever, like $50 or whatever it was.
I said $100.
$100. And then she's like, $100. Like, Felice Hearing only charges 10 or whatever it was. 10. Then she's like, well, my feet are nice. And she's like, yeah, they are. Venmo.
And they Venmo me, and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll take a
crazy.
picture.
Oh man, I did not know that was a thing. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was a thing.
You think anybody in the
but I
Rogers
didn't know.
feet?
Probably not.
You should look on
You'd be
Wiki Feet.
surprised.
You might even
Bro,
be
we're
on
gonna
Wiki
start
Feet.
selling some of your shit, man. Can we sell like Frankie's jockstrap? Actually, when you fought in Dubai, didn't like a sheik want your? I guess it was like your bloody shorts or something. Didn't?
Okay, shorts is different than.
What was
Like
it? What was
like
it?
A memento.
Yeah, they wanted something.
That's like a
Yeah,
jersey.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not. I
yeah.
was like,
It's a little
wait,
sweaty,
what?
nasty
It's a little different.
shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to say it was a jockstrap, but I don't think it was.
That's like the
I think it was
one
a
girl fighter, like shit her pants in the fight in the UFC.
Oh, yes, I
And
saw
then
that. Yeah, yeah.
someone on Twitter like offered her like 10 grand for her shorts.
What?
And I think she's like, yeah, I need it. I lost.
Hell yeah. I lost my lunch
Wow,
and my
man.
fucking
Yeah.
purse.
Yeah, and then after that, they made a rule that they're like, oh, if you shit your pants,
Yeah,
you're
it's
disqualified.
She
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
rolled.
There's a market. There's a market
She
for it.
rolled with that and actually
Oh,
made. She handled it very well.
Who was that? I mean, maybe not call her
is-
out. But.
No, I mean,
That's
whatever.
pretty famous,
Everyone
right?
knows. Justine Kish.
I don't
Well,
know.
yeah,
she
you wouldn't
she
really know.
owned it and made
She,
it fun. She
af-
handled it the best way you could
Yeah,
possibly
after
handle
she
it.
tweeted, she's just like, shit happens.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was like, oh my god. Remember, because Yoel Romero did that.
Shit his
that's what I
pants?
heard. Yeah,
Oh,
I heard that's it,
yeah.
He had
I
like the
heard that.
purple
Yeah,
shorts
yeah.
on. He had like the spot, and each round it got bigger. And,
Oh,
bigger.
yes,
And
I
he's like,
forgot
yeah,
about
I
that.
always do when I wrestle. I always shit my pants. I'm
Oh,
like, oh my god. It's
Probably
so.
bad weight cut or something.
Yeah, gotta be.
Oh
Gotta be.
my god. Definitely like had ice cream after weigh-ins.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
I saw one. It was like an amateur fight where it was two heavyweights too. One big fat guy, and he got put in like a front headlock, and the guy literally squeezed the shit out of him. But you didn't see it until he stood up, and then it started dripping out of his
Oh
pants.
my God,
And the
that's so
other fighter
gross.
went to like shake his hand, and he saw it, and he just started backing up like whoa. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was gross.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So speaking of fighting, I know you say you're injured. Do you have anything on the table?
Yeah, May 15th.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
fighting
not far off.
Vivian Arujo.
Arousal. Okay, I did see that. I
Something
did
like
see
that,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Nice.
think she's like number 6. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know where that is yet?
They said maybe Vegas, but I don't know because now
Florida.
Yeah, so mine's 262, and they said 261 is going to be in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
so
with fans.
yeah, they said a full
God
fans.
bless
Full fans.
Florida.
Yeah.
God bless. It's like another country down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. We were talking about that actually on the way here. When they have that full fans, will they still like quarantine and test the fighters?
I know, that's what I was
Doesn't make
wondering.
sense.
I
It
think
doesn't
so.
make-
I just think Florida. I mean, I just think this. Like, why are they testing us so many times?
Exactly.
Like, do you want us to fight or not?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. That must be the Vegas Commission. If
That's
Florida
what it
Commission
is.
different,
But if Florida's filled with people, then it would make almost selfish. Be like, oh, the fight. We care about the fighters, but all these fans, we don't care
Yeah,
who
yeah.
sits next to.
But it's the
It
athletic
has to be just
commission.
the way it is.
Yeah.
I think it's gotta be totally open. I bet.
I hope, man. I'm like, how long are we gonna have to do these COVID? Like the new HIV test. We've been
Yeah.
doing it for every fucking fight. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And then like, like when I went in November, I fought in Abu Dhabi, and it's like it was 2
She's
weeks.
fought 5-6 times. with
Yeah,
COVID.
with COVID,
Yeah,
this would
right.
be like my 5th fight since COVID.
Wow.
But when I fought there, it sucks because Mark can go.
Yeah, right,
It was
yeah.
like
It's quarantine for
I mean,
a longer
it's fine
time, right?
for me. Like I'm not like I lost that fight. And I'm not like like if the coach or whatever
right,
would have
right.
been there. I mean, whatever, it happens. But it just takes so long. So my whole last week of normal training, I was like there. So I would have gotten another 2 days of sparring and another wrestling day, like my last hard week of training, and I'm sitting in a hotel room,
Right.
like
Can't do nothing.
hitting
Yeah.
pads. You can't even go outside.
Right.
I was like, doing pads, just like
Got to be a little demoralizing.
it just
yeah.
kind of sucked. And I definitely think my weight cut was fine, but I was like, ugh, it was like I was about 2 pounds off what I normally am, and I was like, it's because I probably would have lost 2 more pounds in that last hard week of training, not just like flying, sitting in a plane, and then the time difference. So when I got there, you weighed in, and then you had 2 nights of sleep before the fight instead of 1.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, because you weighed in Friday night, and technically I didn't fight till Sunday morning. So I weighed in Friday night, and then I had all day Saturday, and then I went to sleep, and then I woke up at like 2 a.m. and then fought.
Wow.
So
is this still the same time though?
I think so, because you weighed in at night instead of the morning.
Yeah.
But it was just a little different.
That'd be weird. Yeah.
Do you derive any energy off the crowd, or doesn't matter to you?
No, I mean I don't notice a difference either way. I think like the crowd, I don't notice. Like I like it better because I guess you can like hear your corner, but I never have a problem hearing the corner anyway. The one thing I like though is like the fight week, like not having everyone there. Not having it. I mean, sometimes it sucks because you're like in your hotel room, but I was like, after the first one, I was like, this is so weird. We can't even go anywhere. And then I was like,
it's kind of nice.
I kind of like this. Like it sucks after the fight when you get done and then
you want to go home.
Yeah, you get done and I remember the first time I fought. And we got back to the hotel, and it was like I was early on, and it was an early fight card. It was like, like 5 p.m. I'm like, all right, we get there, and we get to the room. It's like me, Ryan Cafaro, and Mark, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go to my room, shower. I guess I'll hit you guys up after. And then it was just like I called him, and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. I'm just like in my outfit, whatever that I fought in. I'm just like, man, I wish I was at home now because no one's here. It was like, then we just got got Uber Eats and just sat in the hotel room, and it was like we have to wait till tomorrow morning.
I left. Renee, we got a room. So I'm like, if you leave, you're not allowed to go back.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, fuck that, I'm gone. I can't do it.
So then the same thing last time we were like, so now we know. Right. So the last time, Sarge and Ryan were there. We're like, all right. Before we go, we gotta go to the liquor store. We gotta get all that stuff. We stocked up. Yeah, we stocked up the whole place on like Wednesday before we went into quarantine. So I'm like, all right, we need to at least have stuff in our room. But I think I was like, this time I'm like, if no one else comes, I want to like try to get that Mark Henry night flight. Yeah.
Well, you started doing that before like COVID. Like during the week, remember?
Yeah.
We'd go out to dinner, like night before dinner, everyone does like team dinner or whatever.
Right.
It would just be me and her. We started doing that. Just the
That's
two
cool.
of us.
The last couple fights.
Sometimes it gets everyone
now,
eating.
How are you allowed? Because Renee's not allowed with you. Is it because
I don't go. I haven't been.
Okay. Before COVID.
I stopped going. I don't go to those.
Yeah, before COVID.
Do you ever do any cornering? I mean, you get the wrestling background and stuff.
Not with her, but I do with some guys.
Okay.
I do with Gregor Gillespie.
Gotcha.
Like few guys I do, but
yeah.
Would that be uncomfortable for you if he was in the corner?
He cornered me one time, but it was my first loss.
Oh shit!
No, but that's
we didn't like it. I didn't like it.
It's gotta be tough,
Well, to be honest, like we until like the last year, like
and we never did anything.
Yeah, we never like everyone, until basically COVID when I like was training at home more. Like we never trained together, so it's like you know what I mean.
Why we're gonna now?
Yeah, the one time he did, I just had an extra corner, and I was like, all right, cool, you can come corner me, and then I just always had other people there, and he was there at the fights, and he hangs out with my parents and stuff. But I don't know, maybe for for the next fight, because now me sparring on Long Island, like he comes to my sparring, and I was like, it was like the last couple of days was sparring, and I was like. He was kind of telling me stuff to do when we were in the wrestling exchanges, and then I was like, wow, I'm starting to from the year of us training together, I'm starting to do the same stuff that he knows, and so now it makes more sense. He kind of coaches me through stuff. Like now most of the stuff I do the wrestling is all stuff I learned from him. I'm just do all body locks and from the back and everything, and that's all stuff that I learned from him. So
it's got its advantages.
Yeah. So maybe now I don't know, we'll see. I don't think the corner really matters. I think it's just the prep up to it.
Right.
I mean, I just
people too much focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sometimes it's I think having Mark there, it's just because he's such a presence in sparring.
Yeah.
So I think
makes you feel normal.
It makes it just more. It's not necessarily and I obviously like when he he just says stuff the whole time, so I just always kind of I'm like, all right, well, whatever.
I'll do this.
Yeah, it's kind of the pressure's off of me. I'm like, well, I'll just do whatever he says. And then it's not really my fault. It's his fault.
Is Mark pretty brutal when you're in a fight? Like if you lost a round, is he going to tell you hey, you lost that round, or is he?
He'll say you need to probably win this round.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like, you
but
sucked last round, buddy. No. I'll be
think
like,
most
keep
of
like,
the
we
time-
need to win this one.
Yeah,
You know?
most of the time I don't know. For me, I kind of know, but
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah,
close,
right,
I'm
right.
like, I didn't win that round, did I?
Right.
And he's like, no. I remember the last time it was funny because I was like, the fight was super easy, and it was just kind of like felt like I was like coasting, you know. It was just like a striking, and then I got into the in between rounds. It was like between the second and third. I said to Mark, I was like, should I like go for a takedown? Should I clinch up? Should I try something different? He's like, what? He's like, no. And it was right when the cameras were there, and he was the way he says, he's
Yeah, of
like,
course.
no, what are you, nuts?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, okay, I just asked. And then after we were laughing about it, and he's like, you're winning it, and you're winning the whole fight. She's not even touching you. You're piecing her up, and you want to, with striking, he goes, and you want to like go for a takedown. That's all she's trying to do is grab you. And I was like, well, that's why I asked. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
You know,
Good
but it
thing
was-
I asked.
Yeah, it was funny because the camera's there. And he's like, what are you, nuts? And then too, for that, sometimes he's funny because you can hear everything he's saying.
yeah.
He kept calling one code for me to do, over and over again. Then finally I did it. And he's like, finally.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
all right, like,
It's
relax.
so dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
That's great.
I don't know. I like having Sarge there because she came to Abu Dhabi, and then it was kind of nice because we're, training partners.
yeah.
So that's why when I started having Cafaro there, because I can train with him, like, because for up until this past year, I'd always have the corner there. They were all like big guys. I wouldn't even
Right.
have anyone that I could roll with for the warm up, So
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
wait, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like,
And-
I need someone I can train with.
Yeah.
And he likes to do it. And
Ah,
the way
Ryan,
it is
yeah.
now, like you have to really like to do it to go
Yeah.
for like 2
Oh,
weeks.
yeah. He's into it. He's
Yeah.
into it.
Because
Yeah.
it's hard to get probably people to go for 2
Right.
weeks.
I know. It is. I mean, it's,
And understandable, right?
yeah, people have families and
Yeah.
other jobs. And Mark's got his pizzeria, it's tough.
Yeah.
But Ryan's like, you can tell he's into
He's,
it. I think that's good.
Yeah.
He's good because he's like one of the girls.
One of the
so.
girls.
Yeah. me and him like when we're bored, we'll make like TikTok videos and
Yeah.
stuff. And he's good to have there.
I don't know who you're talking about. Who is this?
He's our like Thai coach.
Oh,
okay.
Muay Thai coach. You guys are kickbox coach.
Yeah.
Kickbox coach.
He's in a lot of corners now.
Yeah, dude.
Is he
He's
the-
got, I
wait,
think he
is
holds
he-
pads.
Is he the guy that drives the pink car?
No.
No.
Oh,
Alright.
no.
Shorty.
Oh,
Yeah, he's more jujitsu.
okay.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
yeah. No, he drives the beat up Prius.
Yeah, the Prius.
Ryan does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like always breaking down. And
Yeah.
one day
He hit a
like
deer. He hit a
one day
deer
he
the one
showed
day.
up, he like crashed it. I was like, what happened? He's like, oh. I was like, you were texting, weren't you? He's like, yeah, I was texting. I was like, all right.
Oh shit.
But he's good. But yeah, so May 15th I fight. So it's
All
like I got time. It's like
Awesome.
9 weeks.
Yeah, plenty of
Yeah.
time.
And she's always in shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been
Just
training.
losing weight.
Yeah, right. And then just fine tuning things,
Yeah. I mean,
for your opponent, I guess.
the past 3 months, I've still been sparring 3 days a week.
Right.
Just because all of a sudden I'm like, I would always spar 2 days a week when I'm not in camp, and then like I said, the girls were coming to me, so I was like, I'm probably sparring a little too much, but I was like, I mean, this opportunity, I don't know how long these girls are going to keep coming, so let me use them now and
Yeah.
spar. So I'm like, I've been sparring 3 days a week, so I'm like definitely like
Ready
ready
to
to
go.
go.
Yeah.
I just
When they
got cut
come,
weight.
when they come to you, what facility do you use?
Ryan LaFleur's gym.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
yeah.
Long Island MMA. So it's kind of cool. Then I've been doing that there, and then like if he's there, he'll kind of coach me a little bit, and then I've been working with Ryan. Which is kind of fun for him because he's recently retired, so he definitely like misses it.
I think he's
Yeah.
helped you.
Yeah. So, but the first fight in COVID, I took on like 3 weeks notice, and I was like, I don't even know. This was like in the beginning, like right after a week after like the Jacksonville card, and I was like, so he kind of helped me a lot for that fight, and he's like a long, lanky,
Yeah.
striker and stuff, so. He actually is kind of like helping me a lot. It was kind of fun because we're friends. Like we always him and his wife and us, like we hang out all the time. But like I've never like trained with him and stuff. So it's kind of fun for him now. He's stepping out of fighting. He kind of gets to be in
Gotcha.
it.
Yeah. It's a good way to stay involved.
Yeah.
I think Ryan and Chris Smith are pretty good friends. I know Chris goes to all his fights.
He is. Yep. You guys know Chris Smith? He's a Long Island.
He's got a house right on the water. Just built a beautiful house. I don't know where he is, but
Finance guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Ryan's like the mayor of Long Island.
Yeah.
He knows everyone.
So many people always say, like, oh, I know Ryan. He's my best friend.
Yeah.
Like 10 times. People
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
He's my best friend.
We always say that. I'm like, everyone's your best friend. He's like, yeah, I know a lot of people. He's a good guy though.
It's good to know people.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming down, man.
Yeah, this was great.
This is awesome.
great.
And
Yeah.
where can everybody catch you at? And let's name your podcast too. Where can we find your podcast?
Yeah. Burning the Boats podcast on wherever you get podcasts.
iTunes, Spotify, everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Everywhere podcasts can be found.
Yeah, we post on
Once a week.
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter.
Does that saying
Blonde
burn the boats? Is that like burn the ships? Where I actually
Yeah.
learned that from Sarge. When Sarge was in here, she taught me that expression, like, leave no outs, right?
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
that what
like all
like Vikings did or something back in the day? Or I don't know.
The
Some
first person did it was Cortez.
Okay, Cortez.
From, like the
Spain?
conquistadors.
Yeah.
yeah.
And they conquered the Aztecs.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. So they
But
took
then
the boats, burned the
They
boats.
went
so
there.
no
Yeah,
choice.
they went
No
there.
escape,
All the
right?
guys
Yeah.
were like, "No, let's go back. Let's go back." And there's only like 500 of them. There's like 5 million Aztecs. So they're like, "All right, we'll go back in the morning." And they went to sleep and they lit all the
Burned
boats
the
on
boats.
fire. Like,
There you go.
You gotta
It's
stay.
like yeah, dude, that's
All
grimy.
in. I got that tattoo on my chest actually.
that's
shit.
dope.
On the boats,
I like
yeah.
it.
But
I like it.
years before the podcast. Not the
Yeah, you got the podcast name.
Yeah.
Got
We
12
should- we
episodes
should-
in,
episode.
got the tattoo. No.
Roger got a champ and a tramp with that too.
He's got a panther with blue eyes on his back. Let's not talk too much.
Stop.
Yeah, so
And then what about Twitter and
Twitter, Instagram, pretty much everything at Blonde Fighter. I'll post about the podcast on there too.
Kyle, you always see
Nice
putting
one.
up good wrestling techniques
Yeah.
too on IG.
Yeah.
You know.
Pretty good stuff.
Say what your Instagram is.
Kai Serum KY. Sorry.
I followed both you guys.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for coming down. This was a pleasure talking to you, and look forward to May 15th, seeing you scrap again. Always a pleasure watching you. And let's go. Let's get after it.
Absolutely.
Champ and a trip. Oh.